Welcome back to TenTenths Podcast. I'm your host, Robert Breout, and I'm sitting in the Kanka Motorsports studio, and I have Adam Nielsen and Don Boss on Zoom on a Friday night.
We have nothing better to do.
We are living it up, and I have so much things I could be doing. I have so much things. I've been scrambling like crazy to get shit done, man. But
what's your timetable, though, Robbie? Like, when do you need things done by?
Monday.
Oh, that's right. Well, I forgot about that.
Yeah, we're test driving the C8 for one lap on Monday, and then I want to take the Z with me for a shakedown since I've had nothing but issues with getting it to actually run right.
I forgot about that.
That's why I've been scrambling to get it.
That is a pretty tight timeline, actually.
Yeah, that's why I've been so busy the last couple weeks, and we'll kind of get into that later. But yeah. I do want to start with some fun little things I got in the mail today, or the other day.
Johan. So
Johan sent me these stickers. Not just Johan and India from our derivative podcast.
Spinoff?
Yeah, I don't know how.
I think it's a spinoff.
TenTenths podcast. They sent out stickers to their valued members of their fans, and they sent a nice letter, and it's even signed by Pickle. Little paw.
So it came with a little puppy dog sticker that's like,
and a cat sticker.
Like I didn't see the cat sticker.
Yeah, it was a little tiny cat sticker.
Oh, I saw the puppy.
Yep.
It was like 3/4 of an inch tall. I don't know. My son immediately stole it from me, and I have no idea where it is now.
It's stuck to something in your house that you don't want it to be stuck to.
I would say that's probably the case, but I don't know that he knows how to stick it since it's got, it's like a regular vinyl sticker, so it's got the two layers. Right?
Yeah,
it's got the backing paper and the transfer paper. That's some pretty advanced sticker action for a 5-year-old.
They always seem to figure out stickers, though. Stickers and Sharpies, they get that stuff figured out way fast.
There is a whole buffet of ice cream and its accoutrement on my tub. It's been there for like a month, and I just don't care.
Yeah.
It's like, if I take it off, it's just going to put more on there. So,
it seems like a waste of time.
Every morning when I'm getting ready for work, I'm looking at a smorgasbord of ice cream related things.
It could be worse.
Don probably knows that life.
I do. In fact, Lou has one chair at the table that I just stopped cleaning. And
absolutely.
I tell guests, I'm like, don't sit in that chair. And it's just like, you can't even touch it, and your hands like
sticky,
like stick to it, and it's just everywhere. And if I cleaned it the next day, it would look the exact same. It's just not worth it.
No, it's not. I don't understand it, man. I just don't understand it.
Oh yeah, well, my dog puked on the floor the other day.
So did mine.
But he did it on the hardwood, so it was easy to clean up. That was nice of him.
Mine apparently thought that grass that he hadn't seen in a few months was looking mighty tasty. But his stomach didn't agree with him.
It never does. I'm really confused as what I should do with this sticker, though, because I don't dare put. I'm not going to tempt fate. I got a new build. I don't want to. I'm not putting it on my car.
I wouldn't put that. Put that on a competitor's car.
Say, because Dusty put it on, or he put it on. Johan put it on Dusty's wing, and the car never ran right. And then he put it on Dalton's trailer or car.
I don't remember. Maybe both.
I want to say it was at least the trailer, if not the car. But then he broke the bell housing, and then that car's still not together.
Yep. Nope, it's far from it.
So I think Johan is to blame for Dalton's car not being together right now.
Dusty just got his working like a week ago.
After he took compensation there.
After he took the sticker off.
Long-term issues too. It's not just like little things. It's like long-term issues.
Yeah.
Dalton had to rebuild a motor.
Yeah. And he did the right thing by going preemptive, and he noticed some sparklies in the oil. He's like, you know what? Let's look into this. And then realized he had some worn bearings, and before it became a problem, he's going to fix it.
And that's why you just don't look. If you wouldn't look, that motor would have ran for years.
Probably.
I mean, it's essentially the small block Chevy effect, where it just slowly gets less and less powerful.
And it was doing that because
it's never going to die. It's just going to make a little less power. And then eventually it just doesn't have enough power to move the car. It's still running.
And running fine.
Don, you remember your Celica? that like teal green one.
How that was my favorite car I've ever owned. Of course,
Do you remember that one?
car.
So I remember when we were in college. Don had this car in college, and we lived our apartment. Our dorm room apartment things was like built in hills, right? So you had to drive, you come in the driveway, you drive up the hill and then around the U and back down the hill on the other side. And Don could not park his car and just leave it in gear because it would chug away.
Just no compression.
No
compression. And I don't know, well into the 200K, wasn't it?
I got rid of that car at 287,000.
Oh,
and I sold it to an ex-girlfriend actually, and she got rid of it at 390,000. It was still running original motor, no maintenance.
wow.
Besides oil changes, no maintenance.
And it just like if you would put it in gear and let the clutch out on a hill, motor off, it would go and it just fucking roll. And that's basically what small block Chevys do too. It's just, I mean, it's just a thing, you know. It's fine. Eventually, it'll run. It just won't make enough power to move the car.
I love that. That was the first, that was before the Celica. No, it wasn't. No, sorry, that was after the Honda. Because I already knew how to drive a stick at that point.
Yes, that was after the Civic.
Yep, the Civic I didn't know it was a 5-speed.
That was after your accidental manual purchase.
Yes.
Yes.
But we knew that Dalton's Chevy was doing that though, because it was over 500 horsepower 2 years ago, and then last year it dynoed at 499 or whatever. So we knew it was following that trend.
Yeah. That motor, I think that car has lived a rough life even before. Like, I think it's lived a better life now that Dalton has it.
Yeah.
As a race car.
As a race car.
Yeah.
So, like,
he bought it wrecked.
He bought it wrecked. And, like, I don't remember if it was the doors or if it was the B pillars, but where the speakers are. One of the two had, like, 6x9s just screwed to the plastic.
Who buys that kind of car and does that kind of shot work?
Right?
Yeah, I don't get that at all.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It was a nice car.
I remember the first year that we were doing time trials, I'm worrying about like oil temps when they're like, 240 something. I'm like, man, it's getting hot. He's like, man, I would kill for 240. And I was like, what are you running? Yeah, I saw oil temps hit 290. I was like, what are you doing? 290?
That's abort.
No, every session didn't matter. 290. Because even when like at PPIR, I took it out. And I barely got it up to temp. I was like 210, 220. Like for my whole session in his car, I did the whole session and only did like 220. And he's like, "Yeah, man, I'll hit like 260." It's like that's too much. That's too hot.
That's when you don't buy the cheap stuff.
That is true.
You're not doing Rotella oil changes in that.
No, he's got good stuff.
Not putting diesel oil in it.
I mean, he should because it's the best oil in the world.
Obviously.
Just change it after every session, every day. It's fine.
I just love setting people off with that. You can't fucking do that. I don't know. It's been fine, man. Like it is
fine.
Just put a little
there is a very large crowd of people that swear by that stuff and everything.
It's good stuff, man.
You're looking at him.
You're looking at
You
both.
just put a little Lucas oil stabilizer in there with it. It's fine. It's fine. Motor stops ticking after that. It's great.
Yep.
I swear by that Lucas oil stabilizer. That stuff.
That kept the Avalanche alive. Long enough to get a car home from Hallett and then trade it in.
So it keeps my Omni from ticking after, like, if we have an autocross that has, I think it was right-hand corners, like long right-hand sweepers, I'll come off the course and tick, 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 tick. Doesn't do it if I put a little bit of Lucas oil stabilizer in there. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
It just needs protection. It's fine.
So with that Celica we were talking about, it was a 6th gen Celica. It wasn't even the GT.
Oh God!
It was the 120 horsepower. 4AG. It wasn't the ZE. It was the 4AGE. 4Age. Terrible. Well, good motor, but performance-wise, garbage.
Yeah.
In order to even keep some compression air, I'd use that like oil thickener that looked like molasses when you dump it out. You have to like squeeze
that's
the
Lucas
bottle.
Oil Stabilizer.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or were you putting in like Lucas Oil stop leak, like from a hydraulic system?
No, I was taking the whole bottle and then like it looked like syrup coming out. You just squeeze the whole bottle in there.
Just like if you need 4 quarts of oil, you put 3 quarts of oil of that and one of those. It's fine.
Yep. That's exactly how that car lived.
That's how I saved the lift. I put a bottle of the Lucas hydraulic stop leak, and it completely fixed it. Like it doesn't leak at all.
Like on Roadkill when they're like the head gasket in the can works every time.
It happens.
Just makes me want to JB weld a head to a car now. I want to do it so bad.
Let's do it.
We don't have anything with a bad head on it, Robbie.
Give it time.
Yeah, so we can find one.
I don't want to do it to a car that doesn't already have blown head gaskets. And I don't have enough Subaru friends to have a plethora of cars with blown head gaskets. So it's just not really a thing that I'm, is at my beckoning call.
Yeah, the problem is the Subaru friends I do have nice cars, like expensive Subarus.
Yeah, and I'm not going to JB weld a head to a multiple $1,000 closed deck IAG racing block, like that's just ridiculous.
I mean, I'd do it, but as long as it's not my money.
If that's what we need to do to get
money.
it, through the last event of one lap, then get me some JB Weld, but that's a different situation.
No, we're sponsored by Chevy. Brand new C8.
Well, yeah, this year you are.
Hopefully we don't have to do any issues like that.
Does that have a full catalog of Paragon performance parts on it?
I don't think so yet.
Okay.
I think there might be some things. I know him and JB were talking about a few things to do and like test some new product on it, but I don't think that he's actually done anything too dramatic. The tires showed up this week.
Fair enough.
So we can we'll shake it down on Monday. And
when is that event?
First week of May.
That's not that far away, Robbie.
Yeah, I've basically blocked it out of my mind. I kept telling myself, don't get too hyped because last year you got too hyped and they took it away from you. So this year I'm not getting hyped at all. I'm just like, okay. And then I look at the calendar and went, oh, fuck. Oh, that's a month away. And then and then a month after that, it's my first GLTC race. Okay. I got a lot to do.
Shit's getting real now. Racing season is upon us, boys.
Yeah, second week of April, and I'm kind of having that okay, there's a lot to do. I have time. Everything's fine. I can do this.
Taking a hiatus from the racing scene, which I have been on for about 3 years now, it has its pros and cons, but that lack of oh my God, it's a month away. My car's up on the lift still. It's not put together. Motor's not running. Not having that worry and anxiety has been pretty nice, but I've got so much other shit going on. I'm not sure it's less stress. It's just different stress.
I'd say you're busy with other things. And we'll get into my project updates here in a little bit.
Yeah, should we start with an opener before this show turns into a 4-hour marathon and we haven't done a single thing we're meant to do?
Apparently people don't like it when we have long shows.
Yes, they do.
No, they
love
do.
it.
Trust me. When we do short shows, that's when they get mad at us.
Yeah, if we did a half-hour slip angle lunch show, people would riot in the streets.
There was one person upset that the person who looks like he belongs with the Beatles, every time he's on, the show goes too long.
That's
right?
Good. I didn't see that, but that's amazing. That makes me so happy.
That guy that looks like one of the Beatles, every time he's on, the show goes too long. Fuck that guy and fuck that fan. All right.
It took him 4 episodes to say
fuck the fans, he says. Hell yeah.
That's all it took to jump on the bandwagon.
4 episodes. No, most people don't complain about too long. It's never been an issue. We always kept trying to keep it at an hour 20 for the longest time, and then that always crept up to now it's consistently 2 hours. So, you can always pause it and come back. I mean, nothing's stopping you. You don't have to listen to the whole thing.
That's what I do for the shows. I don't listen to this garbage, but for the actual shows I listen to, that's what I do. I
only listen to it when I'm on a long road trip or mowing the lawn. So
I watch it with my kids
the long ones
because we watch it on YouTube and they watch YouTube to watch their shows they like. So they think I'm on TV, and it makes me feel cooler in their eyes.
You're kind of a
My
big deal.
kid likes our intro music. He rocks out.
I'm going to ask my kids if they like it. They'll dance to it.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
When Lou likes a song, he'll start grooving.
So,
yeah, as always, our opener is presented by Factory Fabrication, factoryfabrication.com. I've been hanging out with Booney. He was here the other day. We finished up the cage. Again, I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself. Feel bad because my dog bit him.
What?
oh no.
I know. He'd been doing so good for like a year. No altercations whatsoever. People come to the house, work on cars, all good. Like we were working in the shop, dog came out, greeted him, went back in the house. We went in the house to get pizza, fucking bit him in the leg.
They say that dogs are a good judge of character. I'm just saying.
What's funny is that I compared it to when you came over the last time, Adam, and he almost tried to bite you, and so I figured you two are like the same now.
Yeah, but he didn't bite me. That's the thing.
Didn't he nip you once?
I think like real early on.
What's funny because he'll do that, and then you're best friends. Because he'll realize he made a mistake, and then he'll try to be like all like lovey-dovey and cuddly with you, and Booney was having none of it because he's trying to like get real close to Booney and like, oh, it's okay now. No, it wasn't. He wanted nothing to do with him.
Isn't he a cat person?
Oh yeah, 100%. He hates dogs, which is probably
It's like
not
it's
helping
like
at
the
all.
only thing we agree on.
Yeah, so I cemented that while he was here last time because Booney doesn't like my dog anymore.
Because I've never been bitten or scratched by a cat. I'm just saying.
That's impossible.
As much as I love cats, don't get me wrong. Cats are the best, but that's not really a valid argument there.
Yeah.
Cats.
Don is super allergic to cats.
Deadly allergic.
He
Oh, man.
can't come to my house.
Can't breathe. If I have students that have cats at home come in and they walk up to my desk in the front to ask a question on an assignment, like I'll instantly be like wheezing and like coughing, like, you have cats, don't you? Like, yeah, I'm like, you need to take 3 steps back right now.
Wow.
Back it up.
That's crazy.
Just poor hygiene, apparently.
But anyways, factoryfabrication.com for all your fabrication needs. If you need to get railed or caged, hey, he's got you covered.
Whoa.
What?
Is that a thing now? Is that a real thing?
Get railed
Should
by
be.
Factory Fabrication? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it is now.
He just put in like a whole railing system and what's the? It's like the railing, but like on the top, like not the handrail.
Banister?
Yeah, there's some other words that
I saw some pictures on Instagram of an install he just did, and it looked amazing.
Yep, that was actually in Panora. But yeah, they've been doing some incredible work. He's been super, super busy, obviously because of the success of the podcast. So I appreciate all I appreciate all the fans that keep doing all their work with Booney and Factory Fabrication. But yeah, if you need to get railed or to have a table or any sort of like decor, head over to factoryfabrication.com. Tell them I sent you. Actually, tell them the podcast sent you so he doesn't be like, oh, that asshole Robbie and his dog.
I never thought I'd be the favorite.
Oh, no, I'd still say he hates you and likes me.
That's fine. I'm good with that. I mean, it's fine.
Booney hates Adam.
I saw when I was leaving the Dino Day. What was that? Last weekend or 2 weekends ago?
Two
now?
weekends now.
2 weekends ago now. As I was leaving the Dino Day, they were coming off of Highway 30, and for a minute I was like, I could turn around.
Booney wasn't.
I'm like, nah.
Booney wasn't with them though.
Oh, he wasn't.
No, it was just Randy and Jordan. And
then I should have turned around. I haven't met Jordan yet. He seems like a nice guy.
Jojo, he's awesome.
Jordan's a nice guy.
He seems a nice guy.
Yep.
Very nice guy.
So I don't know what he's doing with that bunch of assholes, but he seems like a nice guy.
Dude, honestly, Josh is the outlier.
How so?
So I don't know how well you know Josh.
I know him pretty well.
Okay,
I've known him for years.
The personality of the group, there could be like an inappropriate joke. Like Josh doesn't have an inappropriate personality.
No, he doesn't.
Not at all.
He's like super laid back.
Booney, they're like, they're talking about, if this works first try, I'm going to reach around and grab that dick and just jerk it so hard. Like, you look over at, like, and Jordan will get in on it. You look at Josh and those like, staring off into the distance, like not part of the conversation whatsoever.
Couldn't be more uncomfortable if he wanted to be.
Yeah,
Like
the
oh
whole
god,
group of guys is like super inappropriate and dirty, including JoJo.
I thought Jordan was like
he's very wholesome, but he jumps in with the guys too and can be kind of raunchy.
Wholesome's a good word. Jordan's wholesome. Yeah,
he's a good guy.
And Josh is Josh is super quiet.
yeah. Like Josh is I came over for my first meeting with them when I told them I was going to try making a cooler, and just a second, I have a kid trying to get in here. I'm not sure why. Just a second, but I came over and we were at Booney's shop, and there was something inappropriate said, and they're like, look at Josh's face, and he's just like looking at me. I'm like, man, I fit right in here. What the hell's Jones doing here?
Yeah,
Daddy, I need you.
It's a really awesome group of guys for their skill set. Like, what a solid team, though. Like, personalities aside, like they all they click pretty well. But like, for mechanical, electrical, and all the knowledge and fabrication, like, what a solid team. I mean, you can tell like how many times has that car been wrecked and been put back together in a couple of weeks and back at a racetrack. Like, there's not a whole lot of teams that can make that happen.
Right.
They've built a hell of a race car. There's no doubt.
Yep, and
hopefully they have a little bit better luck this year.
Yeah, they're at Mid Ohio right now.
Yeah, fingers crossed that they get the camera that Josh Jones overnight mailed them that they forgot, even though they were reminded multiple times not to forget it. That was forgotten. So we can see some in-car footage on the budget DIY live stream system.
Which we'll talk about later. Yeah, I know Booney was scrambling to get so much stuff done. And
they had a lot of shit going on.
Yeah,
it's easy to overlook stuff, so I can't really fault them for it, but I can definitely call them out and say that they did.
Yep. Plus, Booney's got friends like me that says, hey, you want us to take an entire evening to finish doing this cage? Yeah, I know you're busy. That's fine. Come over.
You
got nothing else going on.
Needy. Yeah. You're so needy and so greedy.
Yes.
It's not like he's busy with business or anything else.
No, you know what? He took pride in the fact that I refused to ask for help on anything, and I needed him to do something for me. So the whole time he's doing this, he's like, you couldn't do this yourself. Fucking loser.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So yeah, he took a lot of pride in finishing that cage and doing actually having me come ask for help. But if you need help for any of your fabrication needs, factfabrication.com.
So this week we have an email, TenTenthsPodcast@gmail.com. And for the most part we get junk. And every once in a while we get some interesting junk. And so we're going to dive into the deep dark hole that is our inbox. So right now there are 2,600 unopened emails in our inbox.
This is the only email that I have or that I'm a part of that isn't completely up to date and organized.
Right.
I don't even bother.
When we opened this email, I set up a rule to automatically forward all of the emails that come into it to my personal email, and then I clear it out from there. I manage it there because this is the wild, wild west as far as I'm concerned in here. Yep. This is, I mean, it exists, and I try not to look at it. Is really
like the dark web. It's there, but you really don't want to play on it too much.
Exactly.
Right. And I know that things are happening because I get forwarded those, but yeah. So for the most part, it's just like PRI news excerpts and a couple other things, but we've signed up for this and we've signed up for that, and we've tried to get press credentials for this and for that. And so we get a lot of emails that are related to that sort of stuff. And somehow people have managed to find us and they'll send us things. So for the most part, they're kind of dumb. But for some reason, some of these have struck me as being dumb enough that we need to talk about them. So
I'm curious how much you're going to share.
What's that?
I'm curious what you're going to share. Like, are you going to say names and emams? Are we going to keep it semi-anonymous?
Maybe a few of these. Most of these, I'm probably just going to for the first one, we got an email. It's just a few days ago. Came in yesterday from a company called Energica. I don't know, Energica, and they make electric motorcycles, like crotch rockets, right? Sport bikes, if you will. I suppose that's
just
the
sold one of
proper
those.
term,
Like
right?
full size?
Like full size. So I was looking at one here. They've got some like racing stuff, right?
Okay.
But this one that I'm looking at right now, damn it, where did all those things go? They disappeared. I was just looking at it.
I know.
There it is.
I know
Power,
how that goes.
145 horsepower, 159 pound-feet of torque, top speed of 150 miles an hour, 2.6 seconds 0 to 60, with a 250-mile range in the city. So, that seems super reasonable. They have the one I'm looking at right now is called the Ego. And so they have an Ego Plus, and an Ego Plus RS. They also have an Ego Corsa, which is a race spec bike. And they have a single make race series that they do with these bikes. So like they're
Legit?
from the outside looking in seem to be quite a legit business. So like maybe this isn't the stupid thing, but they also apparently, and this is what they actually emailed about, they have the world's only all electric motorcycle training course.
Wait, what?
And so, yeah, apparently they feel like their bike has such a unique riding experience that they need to have their own training course. And so you can sign up to take this course with what appears to be their tame racing driver, Alessandro Brunetti, who claims to have the highest number of track hours and miles with electric motorcycles of any living rider in the world. He's their official tester. And so basically they sent us this email asking us if we would be interested in talking to them about their program. So I tried to find it on their webpage. It does sound kind of interesting, but I tried to find it on their webpage to try and get more of a rundown on what the class is about. Like, because it says here at the bottom, that a representative can give us a rundown of the safety precautions behind it and what it entails. And that's really the only thing about
It didn't describe like what's in the course.
It talks about how the program is beneficial for motorcyclists making the transition to EV.
I'm really confused as to what would be so different.
I don't know if
I'm sure
the torque application.
Yeah. But like, I mean, I can't imagine they're going to be so dramatically different, because then it'd be almost unrideable. If your torque is instantaneous, if it wasn't like throttled up a little bit. I mean, it was like the Buells, for example, the 1125R or whatever it was, that had the V-twin crotch rocket thing. That was awful to drive, because it just didn't make sense, because it was like low down torque on a sport bike, whereas like you kind of want to be high revving and screamy. So I didn't like that at all. But again, I wouldn't have needed a course. But then again, I did crash it. So I mean, there's that. Maybe a course would have helped.
So they talk about their base version has a 13.4 kilowatt battery or kilowatt hour battery and an internally oil cooled motor with linear acceleration with a peak 148 pound feet of torque on tap from 0 to 4,700 RPM and a top end of 145 horsepower going from 4,900 RPM to 10,500 RPM. And the plus version of that has longer range and even more torque.
I will say that
those are not small toys.
They're not a toy.
Price tag on one of those.
These are full size bikes, man. These are not.
These are real big boy bikes.
These are sport bikes. These look like small R's. Like I guess it'd be like somewhere between like a Suzuki like 250 sport bike. Looks like it's smaller than a Yamaha R6.
But it's not like your Grom size.
No, they look bigger than that.
These are big boy bikes.
Yeah, they look roughly the size of like the Suzuki or the Kawasaki
the Ego,
250s.
which seems to be their like crown jewel. The base one starts at $24,110, and the Plus RS version goes up to $25,310 starting, and that's with no options. And there are some options on here.
I mean, they're decent looking bikes. I mean, there's aesthetically they look really good for a sport bike. Like they got the for an electric bike, they got the design right, because normally they make them really weird. And like we're electric, we have to be different, and then they make
we gotta make it look
just like cars.
Yeah,
just like cars.
No, these
don't do that.
I don't like the headlights. I would like to see that redesigned to be more like how everybody else does it, with like the actual cowl headlights that follow that contour to the bike instead of just these like LED bug eye things.
Projector bulbs.
Yeah, I don't like that. Other than that, I think it's a pretty good looking bike. But
Can you take a step back to what was just said and think about that for a second?
What?
Why do electric cars have to look so different? Why can't you just have a standard car?
I've often wondered.
I don't get it. Why? I really don't.
Why do they have to be different?
I don't understand why people buy a Prius.
I'm team electric. And for everybody who doesn't know, I'm team electric.
Yes.
I love electronics. That's why I'm here. I'm here to back the electronics. Someone's got to do it.
Yeah, because it won't be us.
But I don't know why cars that are electronic have to look so much different. Like, why do they have to stand out? Why can't you just have a Camry look like a Camry and have it all electric?
That's the thing, though, dude. Because there's the Prius and the Camry hybrid, and those underneath are basically the same car.
Okay.
But like, why does the Prius have to look like it does? And why does anybody buy it when you could buy the Camry instead?
Same fuel efficiency?
They're essentially the same car. I think that the Prius has a slightly better coefficient of drag, and so shape
has to do with that. Yeah.
So it gets a really marginally better fuel economy number. But it's like it is not enough to justify how ugly the Prius is. And that's something I've never understood about electric cars in general. Because like the Leaf is a terrible car.
Yep.
And that was like the intro into reasonably priced EV cars. And a couple companies have just taken cars that they already had and made them electric, like the 500e and a few other things like that. Okay, fine, whatever. But for the most part, they've all been really dumb.
That's why I'm surprised.
Teslas look reasonable, but they're so expensive.
I'm surprised the Volt didn't do better. Because it looked like a normal car.
Yeah.
It should have been like the best selling one, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to get into EVs, that was a nice vehicle at a fair price.
It was a fair price, but the battery technology when that car was around just wasn't adequate enough.
Fair enough.
We've come light years better than that already.
Yeah.
It was just a little bit ahead of its time, in my opinion.
Yeah, I guess that would make sense.
The distance you'd get on a full charge on that thing was a joke.
What was it, like 100 miles?
I was 150-ish. It was sub 200.
Yeah, and people have range anxiety for anything less than 400, it seems. That seems like, that's so weird too, because I mean, I assume you're not buying it to go driving across the country. It's still a commuter, but anyways, back to
back to this. Originally, I thought it was kind of silly, but now maybe I'm slightly. As I look at these bikes, because they actually turn out to be really interesting looking bikes, now I'm mildly more interested in this. I might actually reply to this email.
We've actually talked about it.
I do want to know.
I've swung in the opposite direction. Now I kind of want to talk to somebody about why, what's different and why they feel like they, and not like this is fucking dumb. Why do you need to do this? Just like, I'm genuinely curious. Like, is it that different?
I would imagine the torque curve is different, but I would be shocked if it was that different that it would require a class.
Or are they just trying to sell bikes?
Probably.
Which is fine.
No, I mean it never hurts to like be that company that donates your bikes to the motorcycle school.
Yeah. So
I don't know. I'm kind of in on it. I'm not a big bike guy or even electric guy, but I think these look good. Are these available in America? It doesn't, like, the website seems painfully European to me for some reason.
Well, so the website, the configurator is in American dollars.
That's a good sign.
So
find a dealer.
Otherwise, it would probably be in euro or something like that.
Okay.
So-
Oh my gosh, there's a bunch in the United States.
Well, there you go. Look at that.
Wow, I didn't nowhere in the Midwest or the
Well,
middle or the
duh.
middle or the Middle East or the Mountain West.
Ohio gets really upset when you call it the Middle East. Even
They're
though
not the
they are-
Midwest. Like, look at
They're
the
not
map.
Midwest, Robbie. I'm with you on this. I've had this argument countless times.
All right,
They're neither mid nor west.
All right, let's break this down. We have the East Coast, the West Coast, the South, the North, the Mountain West, the Midwest, and the Middle East.
Yeah.
How is there an argument?
I'm with you, but apparently Middle East is derogatory these days, which I think is just a poor way of having a view on the world.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Ohio, but you're from the Middle East.
Deal with it.
We're the Midwest. And then,
Hell yeah.
then Wyoming is the Mountain West.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
So anyway, from a product that I ended up swinging on to a product I'm quite certain I'm not going to be interested in no matter what I do or no matter what we look at here, from a company called The Outlier Man, accessories for the gentleman driver. They sent us a press release about their newest thing, fingerless driving gloves, everybody. Fingerless driving gloves. So they're just what you think they are. They're driving gloves, but like the bottom 2/3 of the finger or the top 2/3 of the finger, not there. And I just don't quite understand it.
I think this is for the grand touring guys with their Bentleys and Porsches and
Yes, so the press pictures are of a guy wearing these gloves gripping the steering wheel of a Bentley, probably a Continental or something like that. So clearly, and I mean, they talk about how they're the gentleman driver and they're made in a town called Bologna, which I think is very fitting. Sure, it's not pronounced Bologna, but it is in America.
100% made in Italy. They are.
Yes.
They are made for the people that drive Jaguar E-Types. I believe that if Michael was still on the show, he would tell us why his Porsche Club of America friends all have gloves.
Sure, gloves fine, but I feel like Michael would still be out on the fingerless glove. I just don't think. I think this is too silly for him to be in on.
I guess I should probably clarify. I don't think he'd be in on it, but I think he could completely justify it as part of that group. I don't get it. But I mean, I guess, if you're...
Robbie, your input voice is getting really faded.
No, it's on your end.
Is it?
I don't know.
He sounds normal over here.
Yeah, it's your fault.
All right, never mind. Sorry, I'll shut up. Go back to my corner.
Go fuck yourself, Tom.
Jeez.
Just like you said to the fans.
Yeah, you were the shit on the fans.
I get home from a long shift. I'm still in my work clothes.
Oh, God.
And I have to get ready.
Work clothes.
He's wearing a Green Lantern shirt.
No. Today it's Friday. It's casual Friday. This is how I usually look.
Oh man. But I assume this is for the lifestyle of the cars and coffee guys that spend all day driving their really expensive Italian cars across the coast. That I've never understood the driving glove thing ever. If they're not SFI rated to keep me from burning to death, I don't care. Because
yeah, I'm kind of with you on that.
When I got the email, I was scrolling through, I was like, okay, driving gloves. Oh, they're not SFI rated. Never mind. I don't want them.
Yeah.
Because I'm
silly.
I can't get on track without gloves, but that's a totally different thing. And they have fingers.
Yeah, I can see that. So, but
what did they want?
Man,
did they just want to? Was that just a press release?
It's just a press release for those being released. It wasn't like an offer to come talk on the podcast. It wasn't an offer to send me a free pair of gloves to talk about or anything like that. I was just like, hey, look at these stupid gloves we're making. So
how'd they get our email?
I don't know, dude. That's why it's funny. Like I don't know how some of these people have found us.
They have 3-day shipping worldwide.
The next
though.
one included, huh?
They have 3-day shipping worldwide though. So I mean, if you need your gloves by next weekend, they'll be here.
Isn't it sad now that like 3 days seems like way too long? You're making me wait 3 days?
I remember 5 years ago, 3 days, you'd be like, holy shit.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
3 days from Europe.
When it gets here, how are they getting it that fast?
3 days from Europe would be pretty good, though. I ordered like a modification for my sim that turns my H pattern shifter into a sequential. So it's basically just a 3D printed. I'll just grab it. Fuck it.
We're going rogue.
I want to see this.
We're going rogue, people. Katie bought me this 3D printed thing that snaps onto the bottom of an Xbox controller and gives you like a little steering wheel, so you like can turn it with your thumbs. It worked terribly. It was a good idea, but it was very poorly executed.
Is it for? Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I've seen that actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So there was only one person selling it on eBay, so it's 3D printed, and it replaces the ring that goes around the boot of your shifter, and then you attach these. It's like a bump stop, and it's got a spring on it.
Oh, look at that! Okay,
so then you attach.
This is terrible podcasting, but it's fine.
I'm trying to describe it as best I can.
Yeah.
So you basically attach it to your H pattern shifter, and then this is backwards, but so then you treat 3 and 4 as your up and down. So then it self-centers itself. So it's set like how the paddles are. So it basically treats it like a button rather than shifting it and staying. So then when you push it up, it pushes it right back with the springs and then centers your shifter. So you just slam it up, 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 down, down, down.
That's pretty cool.
It was $20 shipped from Portugal, and it took 4.5 weeks.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So why are you practicing sequential shifting, Robbie?
I'm not. I just thought it'd be fun. Okay.
Okay.
It's not for any reason.
Just curious.
I just wanted to try it.
Defensive about that. I feel like there might be a reason.
There's no reason. Okay.
C8s have paddles, I'm pretty sure.
I hate paddles, but I got this. This sounded like fun. Okay.
Okay, that's fine. No, I support fun. I just didn't know if there was a particular reason. There was maybe a race car in the Veerhout stable that was sequentialed that I didn't know about.
No, there would never be such a thing.
Robbie would have to get a steal of a deal on a sequential before he would ever spring for that kind of money.
That is fair. That is a fair, 100% fair statement. I can promise.
It's like the GLTC rulebook literally says that sequentials will be legal in GLTC when Adam Jabay can afford one.
So please never.
And that's basically when Robbie will get one as well.
That's fair.
So
anyways, let's go back to our emails. And no, there's no sequential.
Yeah. So the next one, I'm trying to decide. I mean, we're not going to use him. We're never going to call this or hit this guy up. So fuck it, right? Let's burn some bridges, right? I'm not going to use his name. How about that? I won't use his name. I'm going to use his company name. I'm going to use his personal name. So this person sent us an email. He is the vice president of auto lending for a company called Upstart, and they are a digital auto retailing group company thing. I don't know. But he hit us up because he wanted to come on our show and talk to us about lending money for digital auto purchases. I don't know. But I think it's funny because at the end he goes, I think your listeners might be interested in hearing some of our newest strategies in digital lending, what works and what doesn't, and what consumers are expecting. I'd love to talk about it on the podcast if there's an opportunity, and I look forward to hearing from you. First of all, this guy's clearly never listened to our podcast.
Yep.
First off, I would stop right there.
And it's certainly not a prerequisite for being a guest.
No,
having listened to the show in the past,
definitely
not a requirement. But I feel like if you're going to reach out to us, that you might want to do a little market research.
Yeah, I don't feel like we're the right group to talk about that.
No,
at all.
We've made it quite clear many times that we think the state of automotive loan lending is
terrible,
bad. And we're going to talk about a little more in the news today.
Yep.
So I feel like this guy's wasting his time, and I'm not the kind of guy who's going to hit this dude up and be like, yeah, come on our show, and then just tear him apart.
No, we're not that.
Because I'm way too nice for that. That's far too confrontational.
I'm not about the confrontation at all.
No. And so rather than send him an email and say no, I'm just going to not do anything with it. We're just going to ignore it, pretend it never happened.
I'm good with that. Yeah, I really don't want to do a podcast on auto lending and best practices on buying things online.
Nope. So next one, we got an email from, this one's been quite a while ago, March 12th. I guess not quite a while, a month ago, about a new game coming to the mobile platform. That is supposed to be like this driving game that is supposed to be hyper realistic. And I just feel like I'm not sure how you're going to make a hyper realistic game on an iPhone or an Android phone, but fine, whatever.
We'll hear you out.
It is called Racing Master, which I hate.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good.
You'll get to drive Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Porsches, Koenigsegg's, and Aston Martins.
All right, sounds like Need for Speed, so we're off to
so
an okay
reasonable
start.
Cars that everybody gets to, drive. Authentic racing experience, from the sensation of braking to even the angle of your car's body tilting when cornering. Racing Master provides an unprecedented virtual driving experience with the most realistic physics engine ever. How are you going to do that on a phone?
And why would you bother? If you're going to take that much time to make a super realistic sim, why would you put it on a mobile
market? I mean, everybody has a cell phone.
Yeah, but nobody uses it for sim.
Well, so what it says here is that they've teamed up with the people who have made Grid. Codemasters.
Grid's a good game and Codemasters did the F1 games, and the F1 sims are good. But
and so they're using their physics engine. And so I think that yes.
Oh, Grid's.
Well, it just says Codemasters.
Okay. Well, yeah, Codemasters in general is good, but I say Grid's not a great sim. It's a fun game.
I don't think that they try to claim it as being such.
No.
They also make Dirt.
Dirt's good.
So, I mean, they've got the credentials that this studio is teaming up with them, and says that they're using their physics engine, and then they're using Unreal Engine 4 for the graphics, which is pretty standard these days.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's got good pedigree behind it, but it's still a mobile game, and they're still using a bunch of ridiculous hypercars. So, like, at the end of the day, like, I might download it and play it for 15 or 20 minutes and probably hand my phone to my kid and let him crash in the wall a couple times, and then I'm probably going to delete it.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know why you would...
You think it'll be a free game?
I think
the early access is free. You can download it right now.
Yeah, I think that the days of paid games are dead. Most games for the most part are going to be free to download, but they're not free.
It's pay to play and pay to win.
Yeah,
right. Free to play, pay to win. So they'll let you download it, and you'll get like Huracan and like lower level 911s or something like that. But if you want a Koenigsegg Regera that's going to be the fastest car in the game, it's going to cost you $20 a month or something like that. Is probably how it's going to be. I can't say for sure. They don't talk about that.
No, that seems to be the new direction of a lot of those games.
That's how games are.
Yeah.
So, kind of a bum deal.
Kind of a bummer, yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't do any games on my phone, so I guess I'm definitely not the target audience, but I definitely wouldn't do a realistic sim either, though. On my phone, I mean.
I've tried to play like actual racing games on my phone before, and I always find myself losing interest in them because it's so hard to like maintain realistic line and like actually be consistent and stuff like that. And I end up just going back to like stupid side scroller racing games that are totally like, how far can I jump this car and shit like that, you know?
Right.
Because that stuff ends up being more entertaining on my phone.
Yeah, on the phone, it's like, to me, it feels like a Game Boy. Like you want to play like those older, easier, like less intense. Maybe that's not the right word, but
side scrollers.
Yeah, just like generic stuff. I mean, if you want to do some real like in-depth, high graphic stuff, get on your computer or your console or your like PlayStation or whatever.
The other thing is that this is just me personally because I have a busy life, but for the most part, I like my mobile games to be like something I can pop into for 3 to 5 minutes every once in a while and just kind of like do a couple things and then leave, and it continues doing things without, you know, like the idle style games or whatever they want to call them.
I did the Jurassic Park builder thing.
Right.
Like that
right now I'm
Facebook
playing
game.
one called Lego Tower, and it's like the most childish thing in the world. But you just build levels and you make your tower as tall as you can, and it entertains me for like 3 to 5 minutes once an hour or so, and that's good enough, you know?
I don't know if my phone can even do games.
It's because you have a phone that's half the age of most of the people I work with.
It's a Galaxy S5.
Aren't they on like 11 or 12?
They're up there.
At least 10.
Yeah, I have the 8, and that's a couple years old.
I was going to say, are you still an Android user, Don?
I am.
I haven't bought a phone. Oh God, at least 10 years. The last 2 phones have been my mom's hand-me-downs, but now she got an iPhone.
So usually it goes the other way.
Yeah, no. My mom, I hate buying phones, and I don't like being that accessible, and I don't use my phone for anything besides like Messenger and texting. So if I'm a little less accessible, and I can be like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't go on TikTok because it won't download. Oh, I can't have Facebook because it won't download. I'm so sorry. Guess you're gonna have to call me. Oh, don't do that.
Like a normal human being.
He's not going to answer it anyway, so don't bother with that.
I screen all calls, just so we're clear. If you want me to answer, leave a voicemail, I'll call you back.
It's a power thing, really. Robbie doesn't answer the phone. He calls you. You don't call him.
Or Eric calls me as soon as I pick up food. 100% of the time. Sit down to eat, food in my hand, towards my mouth. Oh, Eric's calling. Every time.
My boss thinks that I have a camera pointed at the bathroom because he says that I call him every time he goes in there. Like the minute he walks in there, phone rings. Like, just answer it, man. I don't care.
You don't have to answer it if it's in the bathroom. It's fine.
Nah, dude, answer the phone. I got important things to do. So, last but not least, we got an email from a guy. I can't pronounce his name, so I'm not gonna. But he is an author of some sort, apparently. He wrote a book called Tesla, Elon Musk, and the EV Revolution, an in-depth analysis of what's in store for the company, the man, and the industry by a value investor and newly minted Tesla owner. So he sent us an email and he said, hey, I'd love to send you an ebook or a printed copy. Just give me your email. And so Robbie, I said, hey, Robbie, you know, you're the book guy. Do you want this? Yeah, sure. Why not? And Robbie has promptly not looked at it.
I haven't read in a long time. Like I have a book I've been trying to finish for like 6 months, and I just don't. I had every intention of reading that book, and I just haven't. But I just can't.
So the book is written from.
It's just an ebook, and I don't think it's very long. I just can't bring myself to do it. I just don't care. Like I don't care about Elon Musk's investment opportunities. I don't care about Tesla being the.
So the guy, it says here, he is the producer of the Intellectual Investor podcast, and
he should get that guy that does auto loans. He should have him on his podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Those we should hook them together for sure. That'd be kind of a dick move, wouldn't it? Or maybe it'd be good for both of them.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. Like, who am I to judge? But 62 pages printed length, Donnie.
Send it to Don. Let him read it.
That would not get done. I don't have time to read any extra. I read so much for my job.
I read for fun. I prioritize reading, and I've not done it this year.
But this isn't fun.
It could be.
But dude, this is written from the point of view of a money guy, not a car guy.
It's also written from the point of view of a newly purchased Tesla. So
right, he's got. I'm sure that he has starry-eyed into this thing.
Yep, rose-colored
like they
glasses
all do.
Or whatever. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
No, did I talk about on the podcast already that a coworker said he woke up the other morning and had a dream that he'd got rid of his car and finally bought a Tesla, and it was the best dream he ever had because he was so excited about it. And I was like, dude, that's called the nightmare. If I woke up tomorrow morning and my Silverado was a Tesla, I would be very upset. and he goes, no, man, it'd be the best day ever. I can't wait to get my Tesla. And I was like, I would rather have a 1972 Datsun than a Tesla.
Well, that's not fair. Those are cool.
And he goes, I can't talk to you right now. We're not even speaking the same language. I was like, I know we're not. I am an enthusiast. I care about cars. You are following a fad. And he was. Have you
ever listened to? No, see, I don't think that's a fad necessarily, and I think that in the right spec, Teslas can be enthusiast cars.
Oh, 100%.
They're fucking fast.
And
there's no doubt about it. And the performance packages are very impressive. What people have been able to achieve, like lap times and autocross positions and stuff like that, they're clearly quite capable cars.
Oh yeah, I won't. Yeah, I'll say Adam Passetto's bringing his to Mid-If TT this year. He got a 3 something. I don't know anything about
performance. Probably.
Yes, I don't
know. So that, yeah, don't get me wrong, that's cool. I think as more manufacturers roll into it, there'll be a lot better options for us. And I look forward to seeing what they come out with. But
yeah, I just like giving them a hard time.
It is getting really tiresome, the like Tesla fanboyism.
Yes. I think that's my biggest turn off.
Don might be a little bit on the train of, if he were honest.
Tesla fanboy. I'm a fanboy of the engineering behind it, the software development. I'm a fanboy of the cars. They're for electric car. It's an impressive machine, like you said, but I don't own one. If I was a fanboy, I would own one. There's a reason I don't.
He's got a Honda Ridgeline instead, people.
I do own a Honda Ridgeline because it's a usable product for me.
And
I've remodeled an entire house with that thing.
His daily driver is a Flex.
A twin turbo V6, yes, making 400 horsepower. That is my daily.
That's nice.
So
it is nice.
But yeah.
All right,
that's all I got.
Keep on rolling. I guess we don't have a topic.
No, we just have a bunch of housekeeping.
Yeah, we're just gonna
been a couple weeks.
We're just catching
doing
up.
Things.
Yeah. As always, so I guess this isn't a topic, but our topic and I'd say the meat and potatoes of the show is sponsored by Petrobox. MyPetrobox.com. Use the code TTP15, get 15% off your first box or anything available in the store. I was putting in a windshield in a today, so my hands got covered in black urethane. Because I had forgotten.
Oh, delicious.
I had forgotten
how. Doesn't come off.
No, I had forgotten how awful it was until I like half done. I looked down, like my shirt's covered in it, my hands, my arm are like, ah, ah. It's just everywhere.
Dude, it's the only thing that can trump anti-seize, I think.
It's so bad. I have not done a windshield in so many years, and I did it. Like I'm like, oh, I'll get it done before the podcast, and I'm looking at my hands, going, I'm covered in urethane. It was so bad. But I used the Eagle Grit that I got in my Petrobox and it cleaned it up. So I use the Petrobox stuff like the tools or the car cleaning products or like Eagle Grit. I talk about that quite a bit, even though it's been out of the store for a while. But just stuff that shows up in the box, I use all the time. Like I wore my Grease Monkey gloves the entire time I was working with Booney on the cage. I use them in the shop regularly. They basically replaced my mechanics gloves, but they also have mechanics gloves in their store. And then I use the what's the word I'm looking for? That the whole what's a step drill. I used the step drill bits that I got in my petrol box a couple months ago. I've used those quite a bit. I had never used a step bit drill before. Those are cool.
I love those. I use them at work all the time.
They're great
because they replace a whole drill index of drill bits,
Yep.
I love those things. I think they're incredible. And they're stupid expensive if you want to buy like real name brand ones.
Yeah, no, I was really pumped when that showed up in the box. I was like, oh, finally. Because I've been meaning to buy them and I just never do it. And then this showed up in my box. So yeah, if you want other cool car care products or tools and just useful, fun stuff, plus petrol box shirts that are always usually fun as well. Those show up once a month, and it's worth every penny.
Petrol pup stuff. Get your dog the coolest automotive themed collars and leashes.
Yep, both my dogs, as it was biting Booney, was wearing his petrol box collar. So I mean, he looked handsome while he was defending the house. So I mean, I guess if your guard dog needs a really fancy collar, petrol box has you covered.
Hell yeah. Who wants to start? Where are we starting? Who's going to get this charade moving?
I can, if you want.
You want to go first?
Yeah, we can just kind of rip through what I've been up to. So like I've alluded to, the cage is done in the Z. I had Booney show up. We had like a couple things to finish up. There was like he needed a different tip to his welder, and then we wanted to get the Z on the lift so I could get all the undercoating off the bottom of the cage or of the car, so it wasn't like lighting on fire as we're welding the plates in. So I got that cleaned up, and he came over on Thursday. I'm like, oh great, we'll knock out the plates, and then we'll knock out the last little bit of the joints, like around the hoop and stuff, and we'll get that taken care of, and it'll be done. Like hour or two, no problem. So he shows up about 4, and he didn't leave till like 10. Because there was a lot more work there than we realized.
That sounds about normal.
Yeah.
Par for the course.
But I really appreciated that he stuck it out because he knew that I wanted to get it all kind of put back together so it was ready to go so I could have it for Monday for the shakedown. Because I got the alternator replaced, remembered to plug in the climate control module, the check engine light went away. It's charging the battery while it runs. So I think we're in a pretty good spot to take it for a shakedown. I'm feeling pretty confident finally. So he got done on Thursday, so then I had Friday off because it was our spring holiday because we're not allowed to say Easter in corporate America anymore. So we had our spring holiday on Friday, and I was like, okay, well, I got some time, so I'm going to paint the cage. So I went to AutoZone and I got the sparkly blue metal cast, whatever, that ricer blue that AutoZone sells. I got a couple cans of that, realized that wasn't enough halfway through the job and went and got another one. So it took 3 cans at $15 a piece, which sucks, but it's worth it because the color is great. So I masked off the outside of the car and then painted primed and painted the cage. Primed the entire inside of the car. So I painted the cage blue, let it sit overnight, and then masked everything off, which took forever. So I was like halfway through it, masking it off Saturday morning, going, you know what? This is why people just paint the whole thing one color. Because like I went through with like masking paper and tape. Like I went through an entire roll of masking tape and like an entire roll of like masking paper, just wrapping the tubes and then just masking everything off. And it took the entire morning. Then I painted the entire inside of the car silver to somewhat match the outside of the car. It's not the same because it's just some Rust-Oleum heavy duty industrial metallic silver, and it's close enough. And that took me most of the afternoon. Then I pulled off all the masking tape, and actually it turned out really, really good. For being a rattle can job. And then it turned out so good that Adam Jabay texted me and said it looked good. And that made me feel really good.
You're so special.
I know. When Adam Jabay sends nice things to you, it's always nice. But I'm super happy with how it turned out. The blue cage with the silver interior and the silver car, I think it just pops and looks really good. Of course, I scratched it the first time I closed the door when I was messing with it later. So, this is why I don't spend a lot of money to make it look nice, because I'm just going to scratch it and ruin it anyways. So I got the entire car painted, the entire interior back together, and then this is where it gets fun. So I planned on just getting the car back together. I just had a few things I wanted to do, because I wanted to put the oil pan spacer in, because that's a mod most people do to add an extra quart of oil to the VQ. I wanted to do an oil change, obviously, because I was taking the pan off for that. And then basically just get everything ready for a test day. And then I came across a set of Lambo door hinges that somebody had been sitting on in Des Moines for like a year on Facebook Marketplace. First he wanted $700 for them, and then obviously it's sitting there for a long time, because no one's going to pay $700 for these things. And then he had it at $250, and it had been sitting that way for weeks. So on Monday morning, I sent him a message and said, "Hey, what are the chances you take $100 for those?" And he responded immediately. He's like, "I could do $150. I'll see you after work."
I can't describe how proud I am of you for this.
So it looks so good.
All right, we'll get there. So I go and pick them up, and so these are not for a 350Z. These are for a 99 to 04 Mustang. And I'm looking online I'm looking online at them like, I bet those are close. I mean, they're just hinges. How hard could this be? And they don't line up at all, for the record. I can use one hole. And then, so I get them, I'm just looking at going, they're just hinges. I can make this work. If I'm willing to cut them up, it's fine. So I get them home Monday night, and I pull the fender off the Z, and I start messing with get the hinges torn off, and looking at it going, okay, well, I got to cut off half the top part of the hinge that attaches to the door. So I cut that off, drill some holes in the car and the door, get it lined up where I think's lined up, not realizing that it sagged really bad, because I had it all taped and held in place where I wanted it, but not as I was working, it kind of sagged. So I got it all together and lined up, and then realized the door wasn't where I wanted it, because the front was like a half inch lower than it was supposed to be. So I had to take it all apart and do it again. But if you're willing to drill your own holes and just bolt it in, any one of these hinges will work just fine. Because, I mean, these are Vertical Doors Inc. hinges, like the $1,300 new price ones. So they're fully adjustable. I can adjust how far it opens, where it stops. So the real things I had to modify was I had to cut the top hinge part probably in half so it could clear the door on the Z, and then the notch, so you have to open it to a certain point before it goes up. That little nub that it hits was probably twice as long as it needed to be for the Z. So I don't know, apparently the Mustang doors have to open way far out before they go up. So I cut those basically in half, and that fit really well. And it turned out really, really good. The biggest issue was that when I got done on both sides, the driver's side door fully lifted was like an inch shorter than the passenger side, just because of the way things were set up. I think the receiver on the hinge where the shot goes was missing a component, so I put a washer spacer in there and raised it up a little bit, and that's literally all it took to bring it to where it needed to be. So now they're the same height. But that was really going to bother me if one was an inch shorter than the other, totally lifted. No one else would notice it except me, of course.
Nope, never.
But I'm sitting there standing in front of it going, the driver's side is not as tall as the passenger side, and upset about this. Like, I took off the shocks and I switched them. I'm like, nope, that's not it. Then I'm just looking at it going, okay, well, the receiver, like the joint, the ball that it lines up into on the passenger side looked like it was higher up in the hinge than on the driver's side. I don't know what like, because everything else lined up perfectly. Like I'm tape measuring everything. It's like, these are exactly the same.
Yeah, I remember it took a long time to dial everything in.
It wasn't as bad. It would have been way faster if it would have just been bolting them into the existing holes instead of drilling and bolting my own. So yeah, I spent all Monday night and all Tuesday evening getting it done. Wednesday, I just did some adjustment stuff because like I had it done. It's like, oh crap! Now I got to cut out I forgot to cut out the fender, so I got to mess with that, and then realized that. So I did the driver's side first, which I shouldn't have done. I should have done the passenger side first, and then like learned all the stuff I needed to learn on the driver's side. So it's like the gap's not as good. I kind of dented my fender, when I was cutting it. So now it's got like a little crease in it. And it's like passenger side went flawlessly. Like it's just like it took me like all of Monday night and a good chunk of Tuesday to get the driver's side done, and then it took me like 3 hours on Wednesday to knock out the passenger side. It just fell into place. But I mean,
So, how far do you have your set so they open up pretty wide?
No, I mean they open as wide as they can, and then they start to touch the fender, and then So like it can, because I cut that nub down, they can basically open and start going up almost right away, and then I can move it over because that nub. Let's say if the nub was originally 1 inch, it's probably 1/2 inch now. So I mean it opens a decent ways, and then it can open all the way up to where the fender is.
The other problem that I always struggled with that Don can probably remember was that when you pulled them down and they were all the way down, you went to slam them shut, they could sag a little bit too far and not catch the pin, and you would just smash it against right above the door. And so both my
shit out of it.
Both my doors had dents like right above where the latch is that the pin had fucking smashed the door in. So you had to hold it just the right spot and then pull it shut.
Yeah, there's definitely that, and you can adjust that. Mine actually seems like the shocks are strong enough that because there's no weight to the doors, basically.
Yeah.
So it actually kind of pushes them up. So I basically bring it down and then kind of line it up a little bit and then close it. Which when you have half the door cut out, you're going to end up having that where it's almost.
I'm sure that helps dramatically.
The 650 pound or pound inch shock or whatever is more than enough to keep these vertical. But yeah, when the door's cut in half or missing, it's missing the glass and it's missing all the guts and like all the motors. So yeah, they're really light doors. But I do still have that crossbar in there. That strength bar. I didn't cut that out, so I mean they do have some strength to them yet, so they don't just flap in the wind.
Right.
But I got it done. I'm just looking at it going, this is so silly.
I'm so proud of you.
I never even thought about it until I pulled it into Matt's trailer for that dyno day because I brought it up there without the windshield, and I'm like, Lambo doors would be really convenient right now. And
they are.
I've kind of, I always kind of
bring all those sleuts to the yard.
Yeah, don't tell my wife. But I was just kind of like thinking about like it'd be fun. It's goofy. Like GLTC is about fun. Like I mean, I want to be competitive, but
it's a good conversation piece.
Yeah, and everyone seems to like it. I got a lot of fun.
It's the best.
I got a lot of fun responses.
Funny.
And I think if you don't take it super seriously, it's good. Like if you show up thinking you're hot shit because you got Lambo doors, then it's a whole nother attitude thing that's not good. But I think they're fun.
Yeah,
they're so fun.
Yeah, that's not the point behind it,
Yep.
It's supposed to be for fun and silly.
But
it goes great with underglow.
It does. The whole car.
An hour and a half into this, we've made it about 10% of the way through.
That's fine.
Okay.
We can cut some shit out if we need to.
I'm not going to. I will not.
I can do the stuff I was going to talk about as an opener next week. It's no big deal.
Oh, that's fine too. And then, but I didn't tell anybody I was doing this. at all.
No, I didn't know. So he sent a video. He sent a video to a group message that I'm in with him and a few other buddies, and I thought he was just showing off the painted cage or whatever, you know. And so he walks up to the car and he's not really saying anything. Doors closed, you know. He pops the door open and it goes up. And I'm sitting on my couch at home and I fucking lose my mind, just like. And Katie's like, "What is your deal? Like, what, dude?" I was so pumped.
I was almost giddy. Like I thought I was gonna have fun with it. I'm like, yeah, this is fun. It's cool. You know, it's silly. But it's once I like the first time I popped it, I was like, yeah, this is fucking great. I never thought I'd be so pumped for something so silly. And I only spent $150 on them.
Yeah. That's the best part about the whole story.
Yeah. So if you're considering doing this and you have a car that you don't care about drilling holes into, you could do it for like $150, you know, $200, whatever. Because yeah, their used ones are for sale randomly if you're willing to just grab one. I think there's probably 3 or 4 within a 4-hour radius of Des Moines that are less than $300 that people are trying to get rid of. This has just happened to be in Des Moines for $150, and I'm like, you know what? Even if I'm wrong, yeah, I have a fabrication friend. We can make this work one way or another. But we'll try it my way first.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I didn't tell Booney either.
I'm so excited about it.
I didn't tell him because like if it went wrong, I was just going to call him and say, "Hey, I need you to bring your welder. We're going to make this work somehow, but I need you to come over." But I sent it to him too, thinking he was just going to rip me apart, saying like, "Dude, you're so stupid." But he was pumped about it.
Good.
I know.
He should be. Everyone should be. It's the best. Lambo doors, I've been saying this for years. I don't know. People have doubted me. Lambo doors are the best.
It's just so fun.
They're cool.
So I miss mine desperately.
Yeah, I didn't realize how badly I liked them until I got them.
So good. It's so much fun.
Dude, I'm so happy with this car.
You'll never get the like rolling up at the gas station, throwing the doors up. You'll never get it, but it's the best experience, Robbie.
Yeah. This car's not registered for the street, but it might need to be.
Cars and Coffee would be losing their minds.
Just be that guy with his doors up the entire time.
On his Hoosiers.
No, I'm doing Toyo RRs.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I get it.
I'm kind of... Yeah, we can kind of talk about that a little bit. My thought process is my car weighs right at 3,100 pounds. She's a heavy girl. I mean, with me in it, fully dressed. If I do a splitter and a wing, and then since I'm running an OEM ECU, I'm limited on what I can do with the tune. I don't think, I can't go in and do like a full Mega Squirt tune or a Haltech tune. I don't have that type of control. So I feel like, I should be right at 240 wheel horsepower right now. So I feel like if I do I can go into off the line. Hopefully, I haven't called Justin yet, but I think I could be like, hey, let's just pull out like 10 or 15 horsepower, just detune it a little bit. Then I can run the Toyo RRs, and that's a negative 2%. That way I can kind of keep everything I planned on doing, have a decent amount of horsepower, and I like the RRs, and I feel like that's a grippy enough tire to get me started. Because I don't feel like spending the money on Hoosiers to get started, and I feel like the Toyos are a little more wear resistant. Like in case I make a mistake, I'm probably not gonna. I'd rather flat spot a Toyo RR than a Hoosier.
I'm gonna do a family wellness check. It's been for a while. I haven't heard the kids in a while, so I'm a little concerned.
Okay.
Get that.
Yep. So no, I figured I was really happy with the RRs when I had them when I used the scrubs last year on the 240. So we'll start there and then kind of see where I stack up. I feel like the car's somewhat competitive out of the box, even if I'm personally not. So I shouldn't be completely in the back unless something went wrong. But maybe I will be. I don't know. GLTC's hard, man.
Yeah. You can build the best car on the field and still be a mid-pack Larry if you don't have the driving talent to back it up. So And, Tom O'Gorman, I don't think he's won a race yet. I'm just saying.
He has not. And he's taking a totally different strategy than because he's running 200 treadwears in his newly K-swapped S2000. Granted, I think it's because isn't he sponsored by Falcon, but
probably.
I think he is. So, I mean.
But still, he's a fantastically talented driver.
Yes.
In a car that was reasonably well prepped. And if I remember right, he told Adam that GLTC was too hard to win.
He did say that.
So, I mean, what do you got to come in with reasonable expectations.
Yep. No, I'm definitely not looking at it going, I'm going to show up and win, because that's ridiculous. Yeah. But that's why I don't want to go and spend a bunch of money on sticker Hoosiers and be like, I don't even know where I stack up as a driver or as the car itself. So I figured Toyo RRs was a good compromise. And playing with the calculator, I can kind of get the car to fit where I think it'll be the car, somewhat competitive ish, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's smart. Put a reasonable priced tire on it that's got a little bit of life to it, and just get comfortable wheel-to-wheel racing.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not worried. I'm not,
because even if you get a couple WRL events in, a sprint race and an endurance race are not the same thing.
Nope, not even a little bit. And
if I know Robbie Vierhout like I think I do, you're not the most aggressive person on track.
Nope, I am not.
Which is going to take a little while getting used to.
Yeah, that's definitely it. And I don't want to go in. I don't want to be the guy that shows up in the first race and be like, I'm going to win, and then drive like a asshole. I'm not that guy.
Don's right though. Shit is weak.
Well, okay, was it Randy? No. Who was it that put a car
Randy
upside down?
Randy.
Like, okay, it's really slippery out there. You need to be, pay attention to what you're doing.
Randy did that.
The first lap.
He did it at a PDX. He goes, don't go out and be like a hero on your first lap.
Don't go out and be an asshole.
Yep. He's like, it's slippery out there. Get your tires warmed up. And like, he was the instructor that day. And then he went out and then had the worst.
On top of some K barriers.
Yeah, the worst wreck I've seen. I guess I wasn't there, but the worst wreck I was aware of at Iowa Speedway for a PDX. And that's now their WRL car.
I love that guy.
Fucking Randy.
Yep. We're still diagnosing that engine, which is really frustrating. Eric will be here all day Saturday, and so will Mel. So we're going to deep dive into that. I'm really happy with where the Z is at for our shakedown day on Monday. And I think that's kind of it. I've just been, thrashing on the Z, getting that as best as I can. I have a decent amount of list of stuff I want to get done yet, but I looked at the calendar and went, June is not that far away, and I wanted this car. I want to make sure it's ready way before, May. I at least want to have it assembled, and then the rest of it can be smaller things from there. So, sitting pretty good. That's
Don, what you got?
Go.
Knock through a couple of things. Let's do some news.
All right. So, where to start?
Let's start with the FBI, because I still have a thirst for knowing what is going on with you and the FBI, because this is a call I've been waiting for a long time with this podcast, and it's never happened.
I've been on it 4 times. All of a sudden, the FBI is knocking. All right. So on Tuesday, I get 2 missed calls. I'm in the middle of a lecture on campus. I get 2 calls. I typically don't take a call unless it's like a family emergency when I'm in class. And so we took a quick intermission, stepped out, called the number back, and it's, so-and-so FBI, FBI something another. I'm like, what? I'm like, maybe someone pranked called me and like used that call forwarding thing. Like, I just got 2 missed calls from this. Like, well, who is this? I'm like, well, I'm not sure I want to tell you because I don't trust the FBI. And
as you do.
Yep.
Naturally.
And I'm like, I've got 2 phone calls in like just a second. And you hear like people yelling, like, someone call somebody in Iowa. So I'm like, I'm from, Ankeny, Iowa. And I said, yep, Agent Malone was looking for you. I'll put you over. I'm like, Agent Malone? What did I do? And the guy picks up the phone. He's like, hey, is this Don Boss? I'm like, yes. how can I help you? He's like, you've recently done business with a guy in Crystal Lake, Iowa, correct? I'm like, yeah. It's like, it shows here in the conversation that he owed you a decent sum of money and some items. Did you ever get those items? I'm like, no. How do you know that? I'm like, oh, we confiscated all of his electronics. He's currently in jail on tax evasion charges and some other charges, and a harassment charge, I think, is what actually got him in the first place. The guy I bought all the items from.
The scooters and stuff.
Yeah, the guy I bought all the scooters from, and he like shorted us on items, lied about where they're made, and made fake made in Canada stickers, and then doubled all the power ratings to bump the price up to how much value the lot was.
Yep.
Yeah.
That guy.
He's in jail.
This is my shocked face.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah. So they want me to be a witness in the court case with detailed email of how he did business and all of the things that transpired and all of the illegal activities that he, partaked in. And so they asked me if I'd be willing to come to court on that. I'm like, abso-fucking-lutely. You just named the day. I will take it off work. You just tell me where to be. I will be there, dressed nicely, all my documents in order.
Did you just tell them to listen to the podcast?
What's that?
Did you just send them a link to the podcast? And here's the story.
Oh, yeah, I should. Like, if you want to know the details, here, listen to episode blah, blah, blah. So, yeah. Well, for anybody that didn't hear that episode, my buddy Josh and I, we should have gotten 44 items. We bought 44 like ATVs, electric scooters, pedal assist bikes, electric pedal assist bikes, go-karts, dirt bikes. We got pictures of it. It was a whole podcast.
Yep.
And we got home and we were missing some items, some higher dollar items. And then we found out that this guy illegally made a new legend plate where things were made to hide the original location of manufacturing and change the listing specs on everything. So we were getting a once in a lifetime deal at $80,000 worth of inventory for $35,000. It turned out to be closer to like $30,000 of inventory. And that's at new price, which you can't resell at new price. So it's closer to like $22,000, $24,000, of actual sellable goods that he had listed at $80,000. So that guy is currently in jail, which is awesome because I didn't want to spend the $7,000 to take him to court and like getting a lawyer and putting all that together because it's a lot larger than just a civil case or whatever you call it, where it's the threshold's $5,000.
It's not small claims.
Small claims.
Small claims.
I think.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're above that.
Mm-hmm. So all I did was I reached out to Mototech, who is the supplier of most items that he had. And I'm like, here's the deal. Here's what transpired. Here's the documentation you need. This guy is selling your product, but saying it's his custom brand. He's putting his stickers on it as the legend plate, covering up the stamping on them with it. I just thought you should know. And so I don't know if he got arrested for harassment charges, which was a thing. Like a lot of people posted on his Facebook page that they sold him an item and he sold them an item and it broke, and they went to return it, and he like threatened to beat their ass if they don't leave his store, and he's not giving them a refund, and they'll come to their workplace and find them and meet them in the parking lot, and super shady.
Yeah.
So pretty big D-bag. I'm not sure if that's what got him arrested or if Mototech got a hold of someone, because I told him, he was also not collecting sales tax on any of this, and saying he even told me he didn't pay sales tax on any of it or reported any tax on any of it. So I pushed that information along to Mototech. And when I talked to Agent Malone, he let me know that he was currently in for tax evasion. He didn't talk about the threats, because if you look up the arrest on the internet,
the public record
for domestic dispute or whatever. Yeah. Anyway, he's in jail. I don't have to pay a lawyer to take him to court because I already get to do it, and I'll get compensation what he owes me.
Of course you get compensation.
Yeah. So that's going to be pretty cool. I can't wait.
You mean to tell me Don comes out on top? I'm shocked.
Like we fucking hate you.
There you go. You
God damn it.
Josh and I, I say Josh and I. Josh did sell an item. Let's just get that in the notes right now.
Nice.
Josh sold an item.
I'm so proud.
He's part of this team.
Good for
he
you.
did fix a lot of shit. Like he had like 9 or 10 hours into carburetor tuning on one of these things, and finally he's like, "You know what? I'm buying a different carburetor. This carburetor's shit. It has to be the carburetor." And he bought a new carburetor, not rinse grain.
Huh.
So we learned a lot about carburetors. But there's probably like
more than you ever wanted to know.
What's that?
More than you ever wanted to know.
Yeah. There was like 5 or 6 items that Josh had to spend a decent amount of time on to get them perfect, to maybe even make them sellable. So Josh did do a whole lot. But anyway, we've broken even with our investment. We were nervous that we weren't going to, because like I said, this was $80,000 worth of inventory, and it came out closer to like high 20s, low 30s, depending on where you looked at pricing and stuff. And we didn't pay much less than that for our original investment, plus the shipping cost to get it there. The truck rental, which was a turd. Don't let me forget to talk about that. So like we were worried, like we might, if we don't sell every item, we might lose money on this. But we've officially broke even, so we're not upset about the deal. We talked about that the last podcast. So I don't want to visit that again. But I'm happy that guy is where he should be. He ran a terrible business. He scammed a lot of people out of a lot of money, because the average person wouldn't know a 2,000 watt scooter versus a 1,000 watt scooter.
No, definitely.
You'll just take it for face value. But cool, I bought a 2,000 watt scooter. They're not going to know. They're not going to know what they amp, how much, what's the current rating on that, if it's at 48 volts. And it's pretty easy to tell when you ride it, if you are familiar with electronics, what 2,000 watts should do.
Right. And then they're not going to blame the distributor. They're going to be like, "Oh, this Mototech is junk."
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not going to reflect back on him. They're just going to blame it on the manufacturer.
Yeah. So I'm happy that the things that transpired there. So that was the FBI news I was alluding to.
That's awesome. So what you were supposed to talk about on the last episode, but so what was so bad about your truck that you and Josh rented?
We rented company with a P.
Penske.
Penske. There we go. Penske.
As in Roger Penske?
As in Penske Racing Team? They own like half a NASCAR and half an IndyCar. It's fine though.
Yeah.
Is that really them?
Yes, it's all the same. He owns a bunch of dealerships. They make like the world's best racing suspension. They make
shit trucks.
We just had this conversation. You see how you you're blaming Penske, but it's
yeah. It's actually the people that upkeep them, and that probably is. The truck is probably fine. It's just the upkeep that sucked.
Yeah, probably.
So, anyways, we rent this vehicle, and we get on this 6-hour one-way trip. We're about halfway into it, and Josh was like, "Yeah, I can't believe we didn't need a CDL because it's got air brakes." And I quick look it up, and it's like, if it has air brakes, you have to have a CDL. So we're driving fuck, are we legally allowed to be driving this thing?
Yes, because you're not doing it commercially.
Yes.
That's how you get it. That's how they get away with it for RVs and shit like that.
Yep. So Josh and I are starting to sweat it. We might, if we get pulled over, what are they going to do? Empty our inventory or tow this big rig that we rented? We were a little worried about it, but then I eventually found a forum that explained that. But anyway, we get all the way there. This thing is a turd. So Josh was flat-footed the whole drive, and we never got above 65 mile an hour. And going up a hill, we would hit we would almost go under the minimum speed limit on the road. So we'd be hitting that 45, 50 mile an hour mark, and he just flat-footed the whole time. And
this is when it was empty?
Yeah, empty. Empty on the way there. This thing was just a turd. It just wouldn't move. And we're researching, do we need to run the DEF or whatever it is, the diesel emission stuff? Is it clogged up? We tried running that, and it did seem like it helped a little bit. And then we get there and load up, and we start coming back, and it's still a turd at this point, but we've got 6 or 7 hours of driving it at this point, and it's much better. It's at least, it's only dropping at like 60 up the hills on the way back when fully loaded. So much better.
Huh.
And we get like halfway home, and I don't know if someone said something. Like, honestly, it hasn't been that bad of a truck, other than like now that it's running right. And we stopped just to check the lights because it's dark out now, and the payload that's in the back of this thing. We do a quick check, and we go to hit the road, and all of a sudden there's like a screaming, hissing sound coming from under the dash.
Oh, no.
Like every time you build boost, there's just like we thought we blew a turbo seal. Like it's just like loud. Think of like an air compressor when you like an air blow and you squeeze it, and it's just like that high pitched hissing sound. It's just like that in the cab with nowhere to go. And we pull over a few times, like, okay, we're looking at stuff. We're looking at forums, like, okay, where does this come from? And we eventually find that those things have compressors because it's air brakes. And we blew an air line off the compressor. We can't get at it to fix it because you have to take some of the dash out. So we look up that you can overheat those compressors if it's constantly running. And we have the 1-800 like tow service. Like, what are they going to do? It's going to be hours before they get another truck to us. We're going to have to unload all of the items that took us hours to load and Tetris in there. And it's raining, by the way, on the side of the interstate. Josh is like, fuck it. Let's drive it till it breaks. More distance we can cover, the closer we are to home.
It's not yours. Screw it.
You pay for the extra insurance.
So prerequisite to this, when Josh is like, yeah, it's going to cost us this much, Mike, and you got the most extra bestest insurance, right? He's like, no, Mike, get the most expensive insurance they have. He's like, why, Mike? Because we have a lot of cargo and we have shit luck. Buy whatever highest dollar coverage
my ass.
You have the best luck. Hands down. Don't give me
Feel
that.
differently about that statement.
All right. Probably true. But this is why I come out ahead, because I plan ahead.
That's fair.
I'm gonna spend $100 if I wreck this fucker. I'm not out $30,000.
That's just responsible.
It's responsible. It's the right thing to do.
Everybody knows when you're renting a vehicle, you always take the insurance.
Yeah. Top tier.
Because when you're neutral dropping it and doing smoky burnouts, you don't want to be responsible for that.
Nope.
I mean, come on.
If it burns to the ground and only costs you $9, it's a good day.
Best $9 I ever spent.
So on the way home, Josh and I, we can't even talk in the cab unless he's off throttle. Otherwise, it's just like talking. We have to scream at each other to communicate because it's just like this loud hissing noise the whole time. But we got that bitch all the way home. All the way home. And that was, like I said, and now I have a bad name for that company. It probably wasn't the company. It's probably, the company that they use to upkeep them is, it probably, oh, yeah, took care of that, and didn't even look at the truck.
That and the 300,000 miles that are on that engine.
Yeah. But yeah, that the truck experience was a whole nother side story to the going and buying a bunch of things. Like there was a moment there that we're going to be stranded 4 hours from home in the rain at midnight in an area that there's nothing around us. We're getting raped. It's happening.
No, if there's nothing around you, there's nobody around you, so you're safe. It's
on the interstate. Someone's going to stop and be like, "You boys like something? I don't know, Mexico," and we're not stopping them. I'm not a fighter.
He'll just tell you how pretty your glasses are.
They are nice glasses.
Yeah, you look. You're from the Beatles. Hop in.
Oh, fuck that guy. I don't know who it was, but if I ever find him.
Oh God,
the group's gonna be hopping this week.
Yeah, can't wait to have the guy that said that. Like, it was me, and he's gonna call me out. He's gonna be like 6'2", like 200 pounds. Like, I was joking about fighting you, by the way. I just want to give you a hug. Like, totally joking. I'm not confrontational at all, and it really didn't get under my skin. I just thought it was funny to talk about.
Of course.
So anyway, that was the truck story that went along with the going to get the stuff, and. On that topic, I'm going to use that to transition to one more topic I want to talk about. Because we brought it up. There's two things I want to talk about. The live stream stuff and the Tech Boss Motorsports, which is actually the official name now.
Oh, shit.
Big time.
Now you're real official. You got the word motorsport in there.
Yeah, so my LLC is Tech Boss, and that's where if I sell anything, it's under that LLC to protect my assets in case something goes wrong, just in case because things happen.
Of course.
After dealing with Mototech, which is a U.S.-based company out of Wisconsin, they have a lot of really cool product. I got a lot of it with that shipment that I got, and I went to look at their website once I realized what it was to look up prices. And I contacted their customer support, and they were super friendly. And I told them what I wanted to do, and they asked if I would be a service person in this area. We talked about that last podcast, and I'm like, honestly, I wouldn't mind becoming a dealer. And to become a dealer with them, you have to have a DBA, which is a doing business as license. I only have an LLC. So I had to apply to get a DBA. I applied for a Tech Boss DBA, and Tech Boss LLC is my LLC name. And you can't have them match. That's too matchy. So I had to come up with something else. And since I am primarily motorsports based, I went Tech Boss Motorsports is the business name that can now officially today offer any Mototech item for sale.
So I assume you're going to have a website. We
are going to be purchasing a large amount of things that we think are cool that would be fun to own for people that are in the racing community. We're talking like 1,500, 1,600, 2,500 watt all-terrain scooters, not those basic bitch ones that stay on pavement only. We're talking ones that can pull wheelies, 0 to 40 in 6 seconds. Those are the kind of items we're going to buy. And mini bikes, they have a really cool mini bike. It's 5 horsepower. I can fit on it comfortably. It's obviously it's a mini bike, but it can move me around pretty easily. But we're going to start reaching out to even the Autocross Club to give away to donate one as a prize, time trials, Grid Life. We're going to reach out to everybody, WRL, and offer these things up for prizes for championships just to help promote our brand name of Tech Boss Motorsports. So if you're hearing this and you're interested in getting some badass stuff as prizes, shoot me an email.
And show up to the mid of TTs.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can win one.
What is his last name? Adam. Passetto. We covered that earlier. Yeah, he's grabbing a couple scooters from me just to have as rentals because he says he's sick of people using his golf cart.
That's fair because I steal his golf cart regularly.
Yeah, apparently a lot of people do. So he's picking up 3 to 5 scooters somewhere in there, and he's going to have. He is actually, I believe, getting one of the Thors, which is the 2,500 watt 0 to 40 in 6 seconds 2-wheel drive monster. It's the one that Randy said that he took off on it and the front tire was up in the air and it was spinning. And he's hearing that noise as he's accelerating.
Neat.
Jesus Christ.
So anyways, if we're going to try to always keep the stuff that we feel would be relevant to the car enthusiast community stocked and on hand. And we'll have a website up that you can order anything from Mototech's website through our website, what we have on hand, what we can show up at events with for quick turnaround. We can send things with Dalton or Robbie, we have a lot of connections with mutual friends. So if you need to get an item to avoid that high shipping cost, we can get items to you. We know enough people because of this podcast that we can, hey, Robbie, take this to so-and-so. He'll get it to him. They live close to the same area. And a lot of us, I trust a lot of people. So if you were interested in possibly purchasing track transportation, we can save you a decent chunk off of what they cost brand new online because of the shipping. So look at mototech.com. Check out their inventory, and if you're interested in stuff, send me an email. We'll add it to our first large order that we're going to be putting in here on Tuesday. Your mic's off. I can't hear you.
It is not off. Is Adam's off?
Dude. Yeah, I know mine's on. No, I'm talking Adam. Adam was trying to talk. I couldn't.
Oh,
can you hear me now?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
There we go. Yeah, so I think this cable's going bad. Is that Mototech TEC, TCH, TK?
TEC. MOTOTEC. Yeah, check out their website right now. I'm pulling.
Oh, I am. Don't you worry.
Yeah, they've got some cool shit.
It's not Mototech.com.
MototechUSA.com.
Thank you.
Oh, there you go. That'd make a big difference. Mototech.com is not a place you want to go.
It's like only.
It's not like a porn site or anything.
Oh, then I definitely don't want to go there.
It's like only teens or whatever.
Yeah, team
viewer.
Team viewer. That's what it was.
Oh gosh, that was so funny. I thought it took me a while to realize that you
weren't in on it.
Onto that.
Yeah, I didn't. I was like, what is so funny about this?
So good.
Yeah. So again, anybody that is going to be going to events here in the near future, if you were thinking about, I know Robbie, you talked about possibly looking into purchasing one for the right price.
I thought you were building me one.
Yeah, not when I can't build one cheaper than what I can get one of these for.
What about the one you almost had done?
I have reconditioned those parts to go into something else already.
That's awesome.
So I'm going to talk about that real quick. This is how I get a tangent. You got to stop me sometime.
I know. We'll reel you back here in a minute.
Okay. I had a customer. I'm a business, so these are customers to me. Show up and he bought a go-kart, a mini bike, and a quad from me, and that's a pretty big purchase.
No kidding.
$5,000. So, and at the time, I didn't have a deal with Mototech about their warranty. So I'm like, if something breaks, I will fix it. Because that's a decent chunk of money. I'm like, if something breaks, I'll do whatever I can to help get that fixed. And within like 2 days, he blew out the clutch drum on the pit bike. So Josh and I fixed it free charge. It was $12 item. I mean, just in an hour of labor.
That's not
and
bad.
then he blew through 2 sets of tires on his go-kart. And because he bought the Mud Monster go-kart, and it's a soft, meaty, like off-road tire, and he was driving it in a huge parking lot. Just ate through it, and then contacted me. He's like, "Yeah, I blew through in the day." I'm like, "I'll sell you the ones off the other go-kart I have at a cheap rate." He had those ones for a day, blew through those. So then I ordered asphalt tires for that size rim, and he paid for this stuff, but like I did the work for him, went over and installed them, and then his son wrecked that go-kart, and we pulled parts off the other one we have in the garage, which was missing tires, and put that part on his for just what the part replacement would cost. So we've been very good to him. He's a good customer. He has an older, like 5-year-old Mototech electric dirt bike that doesn't work. I'm like, well, what's the deal with that one? He's like, oh, I've had that for years. It doesn't work. I'm like, you want me to fix it? He's like, can you? I'm like, if it's electronics, yeah, I can fix it. Don't insult me. He's like, yeah, sure. I'm like, yeah, happy to do it. So I bring it home, I troubleshoot it, find the issue. I'm like, yeah, it's got a bad motor. The motor's weak and the controller's iffy. He's like, how much would it be to replace? I'm like, $35 if you wanted to go the same route. Or I have got this 48 volt, 1,000 watt motor and controller I was using on a different project, and this thing will do 40 mile an hour. He's like, yeah, let's do that. Like, it's for his like 10-year-old kid. He's like, yeah, let's do that. So now I'm with the CNC machine I just bought, I am CNCing brackets to mount the motor to and to extend the battery tray to get 2 more batteries in.
That is incredible.
Yeah, super cool customer. Also, as we talked about, I bought 3D printers, and now I have a desktop CNC machine.
I'm going to have to start using that CNC machine.
Yeah, I need to figure out how to use it. It's new to me. I haven't set it up yet. But
so I can help you with a lot of that.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. And like I said, it's only like a 6-inch by 6-inch by 5-inch or 8-inch by 8-inch by 6-inch. I need to look the actual like working area. It's much larger than that, but the actual
your working envelope.
And came with a bunch of bits and jigs and stuff. A lot of cool, helpful get started stuff. And it can do everything up to mild steel. So
aluminum
brass,
part,
copper,
yeah.
aluminum, HDPF, plastics. So
yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, I've been waiting for parts to get made for my coolers for a while, and I'm to the point that coolers need to start getting built here in the next week or two to get people happy with them. And I'm feeling I'm already up against the wall with other stuff I have going on. So I just pulled I just said, F it, I'm going to go buy my own CNC machine big enough to make the parts I need.
That reminds me, I need to tell you that our first race is in 2 months. Just let you
2 months is doable.
Just let you know about the cooler.
Yeah. And it's going to be hot in 2 months. So like, I really want to get you one.
Yeah.
Like I would like it to be tested and troubleshot before then. I think Dalton is going to take it. He's going to run my test unit before then.
Yeah. I assume he'll take it to Autobahn.
Yeah. So I have a much larger container that my test unit is. And it's nothing fancy looking. It's just a box I could find for a good price. It's way larger than it needs to be. And that's just the test unit. The actual unit is a third that size, nicely put together, LCD screen, buttons, touch screens, programmable logic, pump patterns, and custom dwell times.
Robbie, he has a dual engine 1600 watt skateboard that you can do 20 miles an hour with.
2 of them. I just ordered 2 of those.
That's all.
Those things are gnarly.
That's really expensive for a skateboard.
How much is it?
List price is $700. The price they'll sell it to you is $660.
Yeah. So the 660. So how Motortech works. So they're out of Wisconsin. They are very, very firm on you always have to add the shipping cost to the price. You don't add shipping later. I don't know why, but they're very firm on that. So the price you see, it's always with free shipping.
Yeah.
So what's cool about the deal that we have set up with them is if you are selling, so like when we have our website set up, it'll be directly linked to that website that you're looking at. You'd be in our website, but all the links are what you're looking at right now if you're on their website. Their inventory control, pricing, payment, all of that is just basically a tunnel. Our website would just tunnel to that. But if we're selling off of their website, we have to use what they call MAP. It's a listed price. We can't deviate from that. That's what we have to sell it for. If we buy them ourselves, we can sell them for whatever we want. So when we buy a very large shipment of $20,000 to $30,000 worth, which is what we're going to be buying, and instead of paying $175 per item in shipping, we pay one flat rate of shipping. One rate for a semi truck. No matter how full or how empty it is, we pay one rate to get that truck to us. So it's like $400.
Nice. So
that's how we can start moving those prices down to help everybody be able to afford some of this really cool shit. Is because the $175 of that item list price is shipping that we can now spread out over 50 items. Our shipping cost was $500 over 50 items.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, so we're hoping that we can get stuff that most people would say is too expensive to be just, a weekend track toy to have. To be like, okay, $400 for something that's, I can do that with. It's street legal. It's that fast. And we want to have these things at events. So we're probably going to donate or give a really good deal to people that go to these events a lot and have our name on it. Like, test ride it. If you're not smiling ear to ear and you're done with that, you don't belong here. These things are a riot. Like you think of like scooter, like, okay, 10 mile an hour. Like, yeah, no, these are 0 to 40 in like 6 seconds right now. Like scare the shit out of you. Electric fast scooters. They are awesome.
There's a drift trike.
Yep. Josh has that in his garage right now.
That looks pretty dope.
20
miles an hour.
Alicia on it. Alicia's tearing it up in her driveway on that thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the drift trike is really cool. If anybody's listening to this, that I love Power Wheels. I have loved Power Wheels for a long time. I have modified Power Wheels. I got it's called a Renegade 36 volt 500 watt quad with that list of items that we got from the douchebag that's now in jail. Yes, that's a W. Of those items, I got one of their Renegade quads. After owning that and playing with it, I will never buy another Power Wheel. I will be buying those for my kids. It is the most badass kids toy. It's lockable speeds, whatever speed you want. You 1, 2, or 3, pull the key out. Front and back disc brakes, full independent front and rear suspension, headlights, horn, comfortable seat. It'll move 200 pounds. Like my wife and I will both jump on one and put a kid on our lap, and we'll do, we have a mile lap that we take. We'll do that 5-6 times, and the battery's still, not even touched.
Huh. Wow.
They'll do 25 mile an hour on high speed. Yeah, those things are amazing. And I think they're like 700.
It's $750 for map price.
Yeah.
For the one I'm looking at right now.
$750 for map price. So that's, free shipping. That is a little bit more than a Power Wheel, but it's, all metal frame, actual tires that aren't going to, not plastic tires that you can't replace with,
Yeah.
They are awesome kids' toys. Highly recommended.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
But yeah.
Silly.
A lot of cool stuff on that website. If you're interested, if this podcast comes out and you can get to me before Tuesday, we can toss your item on our first large order and save you a bunch of money on shipping.
How do they find you? We'll jump on that real quick.
They can use my techbossllc@gmail.com, or if the website
TEK.
Yep, TEK. So mine is TEK. The company that we're partnered with now is TEC. Just because TEC was taken, I would have used TEC, but it was taken already. So I had to use TEK. Rat bastards.
Nice.
And if the website is up by Tuesday, which I doubt it will be, but there's a chance, that will be www.techbosscompany.com is the domain that I bought.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was my big news, is we're going to be hopefully getting a lot of that stuff out there for freebies and testing units just to help get our name out there.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. And yeah, it looks like we're going to have a really good turnout at all the events that we're doing this year. Let's keep you moving. You want to talk about live streams live stream stuff real quick.
Yeah, so we did an episode a while back about electronic things I like to tinker with, coming up with a cheap solution for an expensive problem. And one of the things that a lot of people in the race community want to do is live stream. And it's hard to do that on a budget. So I dicked around with a bunch of different ways, including expensive action cameras that you scan the QR code and scan that into, sorry, I don't know what that noise is, but it needs to go away. You scan that into YouTube, and if you have enough subscribers, you can live stream that way. I probably tried 10 different options to finally settle on the most reliable and cheapest with best quality. Those are the 3 boxes I had to check. There's ones that were cheaper. There's ones that had higher quality, but I wanted the option that had all of those boxes checked. And what I came up with was using a prepaid phone, and that the brand I went with was Simple Mobile. I used a Samsung Galaxy L2 because they have a once a year sale that you can get the phone and an unlimited data plan for $50. That is a $50 plan and a $100 phone you get for $50.
I should get it.
I think the phone's normally $100, but if you wait, they do a promo on that phone. And why that phone? Well, again, I looked into a lot of options. I needed a certain speed of processor with a minimum of 5 megapixel camera. So that one has an 8 megapixel camera, and it's got a 1.4 quad core, if memory serves. I don't have the information in front of me, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And the processing speed is just because it is processing a live image and transferring it. And there is a lot going on there. So that's the phone I settled with. Decent display, good processor, 8 megapixel camera. And so that was my brains. Now, how am I going to get that information to stream? There was a few different ways. There was a mirroring app that I used, but no matter what, the stream looked blurry. That was really easy to use, but the high quality streaming wasn't there. Twitch itself, if you download the Twitch app, they have a live stream feature, but you have to rotate your phone. You have to hold the phone here for 3 seconds and then rotate. And if you're stopping the stream and starting it so you can collect the data at a pit stop, you're not going to have someone in the back of the car hold it for 3 seconds, turn it, put it back in the mount. So the reliability wasn't there. So what I ended up settling with is that phone on the $50 unlimited data plan. So no matter what, when you live stream, I don't talk about data as the cost because it's there for everything. You have to pay for data. No matter what system you're using, you're going to need a data plan. So the data plan I use, since it's a Simple Mobile phone, I used a Simple Mobile $50 truly unlimited. And that's because the guys using it, Booney and the boys, they'll be streaming, 8 to 16 hours, up to 24 hours of video. So if you bought the 20 gigabytes, you would actually burn through that in roughly 12 to 15 hours. So you can lower that cost as $50 for a data plan for 1 month. Sounds kind of steep, but if you're doing like just a weekend and your sessions are 2 hours that you want to live stream, you can get away with a 10 gigabit because it's about 1.2 gigabits per hour of stream, depending on what quality you want to go in and how you're encoding it. So the Samsung Galaxy L2 phone, it was the best bang for the buck when it goes on sale. Pre-sale, there's a different phone I would choose, but I specifically went with that one and waited for the sale. And I was going to grab a bunch of them just in case people hear this. I'm like, I want that too. But I didn't. So I apologize for that. It will go on sale. If it does, I'll probably buy a handful just because it has worked very well for being the low cost that it is when it is on sale. So anyway, that's step one. Step two is to make a Twitch account. It takes about 15 minutes. You need an email and some information about what you're going to be streaming. And it's got some random fields you can fill in so people want to know about you, what you're going to be doing. The type of streaming that you will be doing is called IRL. That's in real life. That is anything that is a live stream should be under the category of IRL. Super easy to set up. There's plenty of tutorials on YouTube. I can even walk through and show you how I set one up for Booney and the boys. You can add images. You can add, once you get it set up, you can go to your channel and edit like your favorite clips and put them in like a highlight reel that plays when you're not online. It'll just like play your highlight reel. Really easy to set all this up. And you get really cool analytics, so like how many views you had, average length people watch your view. If people went back and watched the same thing multiple times to see what happened, you get really cool analytics like that. So totally free, 100% free. So now we have the platform we're going to stream on because fuck YouTube. And YouTube's great and all for some putting videos. Yeah. The live stream to Twitch is better. It is. Change my mind.
I'm not going to change your mind.
Okay. And the fact that you have to jump through hoops to live stream to it is a pain. It can be done, but it's a pain. So we have our platform, we have our device. Now, some of the issues with the phone that we're going to run into, depending on the phone, and unfortunately, this phone does have this because it's an updated version, but if you root the phone, which is just a way to gain access to stuff that the manufacturer doesn't want you to have, this phone is rootable, but it's a pain. So moving forward, I'll probably actually pick a different phone just so when I say root, you can just download the one touch root and root the phone, because there's a setting in the camera called autofocus. When the camera is being used, it takes whatever's in front of it at a set location in the screen and focuses the screen to that. When you're in a race car and you're coming up on a car that pulls away, you're focusing and unfocusing, and it's kind of a pain in the ass. Now, it doesn't look bad, but it is irritating. So you can, in a rooted phone, disable that. The phone that's going to be ran this weekend, hopefully, does not have that disabled. So you'll be able to see that in the stream and be like, okay, I would like to disable that. And if you do want to, I have a different phone that I would suggest and how to go about adjusting that setting in the firmware. So we have phone, we have the data, we have the platform. Now, the only thing left is to make the image better. Because if you've taken your phone and you hold it up compared to a GoPro, you want that wide angle. You don't want just that flat looking image to be your live stream. You want that nice round high definition. So there's a plethora of lens kits that you can buy for phones. I have like a little like potato chip bag is what I would call it, but it's like a little clip that has a lens on it. You just clip over the phone and it changes your lens. Well, it adds a lens to it. So you can get nano lenses, micro lenses. So it's like a microscope. You can get fisheye, bug eye, 270 degree, which is crazy, 180 degree, 210 degree. I bought a big kit with a lot of them in it. I tested a bunch to find the one I really like. And I think it's a 150 degree is what I went with. And again, if you log into the stream, and hopefully we'll share that on the TenTenths page. Usually when they live stream, you guys share it. Like, hey, watch Booney and the Boys. So you can see like what that lens looks like. And it is nice. It does. You can see out of both. So it's on the cage behind the B pillar, or in front of the B pillar, or lined up with the B pillar, the cross section of the cage, and you can see out both windows and the car behind you through the rearview mirror and on the side mirrors. So you can see like the whole cockpit. It's pretty nice. So that kit, that lens kit, like, okay, how is it on the phone? Where then I had a 3D printed piece that those lenses thread into that little clip that holds on, that goes on the phone. I just 3D printed a piece that had the same threads on it, and then bought a hard case because you want the phone in a case, and then mounted that piece that I 3D printed to the case and just screwed the lens onto it. So the lens is part of the case the phone is snapped into. And like I said, it's gone through, this will be its 5th event this phone's been at. It has yet to come out of the mount. It uses a RAM mount. That's not something I build. That's a product that's out there.
They're not that solid. Expensive. Yeah, they're not that expensive either.
No, you got $40. You can buy like a roll cage RAM mount. Does an awesome job holding it. You can tell how rock steady that camera is when it's in the car. It's not moving all over and vibrating. Mm-hmm. So you need a way to hold the phone. That's what the Booney and the Boys use. It's a RAM mount. I think it actually came off of Josh's motorcycle. We needed it one day, and like, we got to have a way to hold the phone. Josh, like, there's one on my motorcycle. Go take it off. So we made it work. Yeah, that's all of it. And then the software that's connecting the phone to Twitch. I tried 4 softwares. The Stream Mirror was the easiest, but not the most reliable or the best definition. So again, it has to check all those boxes. Just using Twitch itself, it was reliable, high definition, but it wasn't user friendly because you had to rotate the phone to get it to start, and it does time out. You can only live stream that way for so long. So the software I stumbled upon is called Streamlabs, and I'm really happy with this software. So you can download Streamlabs on your PC, and you can do all sorts of awesome editing for the free version. And you link your Streamlabs to your Twitch account that you just set up. Super easy. Says, what do you want to stream to? And it's not just a Twitch app. You can, I think it's like 6 different options. If you buy and subscribe, like the $10 a month for the professional version, when you hit go live, it spits your video to everything.
Yeah. Facebook, YouTube,
Facebook, Twitch, Only Teens or Teen Viewer, whatever you want.
Viewer, yeah.
Only Fans, I think.
Only Fans. Yep. Whatever you want, your video.
That's where the real money's at.
No kidding.
Oh, trust me, I know. I've had this discussion. I'm like,
do you, John?
My wife's a pretty good-looking woman. I'm like, you think you can make more money with an OnlyFans than you do as a doctor?
No doubt in my fucking mind.
100% chance she would. Yes.
100% chance.
I'd be okay with that. Yeah, I'd be okay with that. Like, if I got to take the pictures, but like everybody else has to pay for them, I get them for free, and I get what's left over. Like,
remember the Catch Me Outside chick?
Yeah, yep. She made like $1 million in
6 hours. Yeah.
6 fucking hours.
Yeah, when she hit 18.
Insane.
Yeah. I mean, if people want, I wish that was the same. It's not, I'm all for equality, but you're not going to get the same amount of people. Like, I don't look too bad naked. I'm not as good a shape as I used to be in, but I look pretty good naked still. I'm not going to make a 6-figure income shaking my shit around on a camera and having people subscribe to it. But you can have an average looking woman. Average. I'd say I'm above average naked. Just saying, putting it out there. All right. That can be disputed. But an average looking woman can easily hit that 6-figure mark. Well, there's some wiggle room there.
Yeah.
But I'm all for equality, but I want some of that pushback this way. I want to be able to make a living by just taking my clothes off and taking a picture.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
We've said it before.
That's going to stir some pots, I'm sure.
Yeah, how far?
Nah.
Yeah.
You have like 3 female listeners, maybe not.
If they've made it this far on the show, I think we're fine.
They're pretty immune to this kind of shit at this point.
So what's your total cost on your stream? So you got your phone, your app, like if I want to do a weekend and I use this app, the phone, the data plan, the mount, realistically, what's my buy-in cost? So
if you heard this and went and bought the phone, the $100 version, not the $50 when it goes on sale,
right? You
would be in this, not counting the data plan. Is depending on what you do. You might have the $50 plan. You might have the $10 plan. Depends on what you need.
Yep.
The 100, 120, about $160.
That's not bad at all, man. Not bad at all.
That is if you bought the phone brand new. They have a bunch of refurbed ones, which I would also recommend for what we're doing for live streaming, because it's in a race car.
Yeah.
They're like $25. For that exact same phone, a refurb, $25. 2 days shipped.
Yeah, that's what I would do for sure.
So now instead of that 140, you're talking $60.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
Yeah. Yep. Super easy to put together. And the Streamlabs software is just the icing on the cake for this setup, because you can download the app on your PC. You can build a custom overlay with decals, your name, pictures of your car that scroll, a driver name box, a chat box, everything that you could possibly want. It's a full OBS editor. And then you log into it on your mobile device on the mobile app of Streamlabs, and it ports all that over to it.
Yeah,
so you get a really
awesome.
Cool custom live stream that you built. And here it comes. This is the cool part. If I go back to my PC, so the one that Booney and the boys will be using is linked to my PC. When they tell me Randy's in the car, enter, it updates from my PC to the cell phone because it's linked through Streamlabs.
That's super edits. Cool. Just have somebody sitting back and
so I have a name box that's automatically populated, and then I have hotkeys like Randy's 1, Booney's 2, Josh's 3. I can just hotkey it and automatically changes the name on the screen.
Wow. Yeah, that's cool.
Stuff like that is really easy to incorporate with that software, completely free. Again, there is like a $10 a month subscription. It gives you a lot more options, a lot more. And the next version of this quote unquote product, it's not a product. It's not something I want to sell. It's something I want to explain how to build. I'm all about that. Someone called me the Robin Hood of motorsports. I can't remember who called that. But I appreciate that. The Robin Hood of motorsports. I want everybody to have cool shit without spending a whole bunch of money.
That's all I want.
Yeah. I'll be your Huckleberry. Get the phone on sale. You're under $100 for a live stream setup that you can do remote changes to. You can have custom overlays. The more advanced version of that is actually going to run on that mini PC we talked about, using an Android emulator or just the PC version of Streamable Labs. So you can use multiple cameras. You can get 3 cameras hooked up to that mini PC, use the same software, still stream to Twitch, do remote changes. The benefit there is you can run a long USB cable and then have a quick pull USB that copies the video to the hard drive of the PC plus the live stream plus the USB. So if there is an issue you got to pull your card for, you just walk up and yank it out.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
And it doesn't have to be there. It's not system critical. So if it's not there, it's not going to stop the stream. It's not going to toss an error. So being able to pull video on the fly if needed for a track occurrence. It'll run the encoding is better on the PC. It's 4K output. 4K. My goal is streaming in 4K on a budget. That's what this started at. That's what I said I could do. It's happening. So instead of the phone being the camera and the processing unit of the video and compressing it and sending it, you'll be able to select higher definition 4K capable cameras and put them anywhere in the car that you want. You could do one on the, rear suspension or something. Some of those are really cool to see suspension angles that's going around a car or track. One facing the driver so you can see him, and one maybe looking forward so you can see behind the car and in front of the car. You can get multiple camera angles, and then all of those feed into the same live stream. And here's the cool shit. You can run an Android emulator on that PC. It's got enough RAM and processing power to do that. Why is that cool? Because then you can, on your emulator, you can run Harry's Track Timer or Track Addict application, which has lap times, speed, track location with GPS, and it's using the GPS on the mini PC, not the phone. It's a better GPS. Your predicted lap time, your best lap time, your lap count, all of that will also be on the live stream. So now we've got telemetry, we've got track data, we've got multiple camera angles, we've got internal and external storage capability. You can remotely log in to adjust the stream quality with Team Viewer software, and for an all-in cost of $250.
Yeah, you're not going to beat that.
We're talking like high-level streaming quality, $250.
Yeah, that's incredible. You're not going to beat that with anything.
The only thing close on the market doesn't even get you cameras. It's $1,500 just for the computer unit.
Yeah,
but it's plug and play. You buy their camera, you plug it into the
of course,
it works. But $1,500 plus accessories, or $250, and you get to learn a couple things about. Okay, I got to integrate this software. Don did a video. I follow his instructions.
Yeah,
and now I've got a bunch more money to buy car parts.
That's the dream.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. Before I forget, if you have emailed me for battery backup, solar questions, building a house battery system, and I haven't replied, give me a bump. I bet I have 10 to 15 people that reached out to me to have plans built. And for those that I did build plans for, I want to see pictures of this stuff. Don't just take my plans and build it. I want to see it when it's done. Send those pictures to me. All right. Yeah, they're your plans. You bought them.
Or post them on the group.
Yeah, post them on the group. I want to see some of this stuff done. And for the amount of people that have listened to this and I reached out to me, here's another big one. Okay, this is what I was telling you about. I told you guys about this. Somebody that listens to this show, and if you're listening now, I want to thank you. Possibly, it's going to be a lot of work. But they heard me jump on the solar panel train because I like solar panels. It's the future. Change our mind. And I guess they work for Mid-American, or they're associated with someone that works for Mid-American. And I don't know how the whole thing transpired, but Mid-American is looking for someone to hire to teach a bunch of technicians how to integrate solar panels, because they're going solar panels. They want to add a huge solar array, but they don't have technicians that are trained in solar. So they were looking for someone to hire. And someone that listens to the show knows I'm a college professor of electronics and I like solar. So someone from Mid-American talked to somebody else, and I got a call from like their resource. What the hell was her title? It was a woman, and she was in charge of further education of employees. And she wanted to know if she could hire Tech Boss to put on a 400-hour lab hands-on demo this summer during my off season of teaching. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds like something I would love to do. And there was a little confusion on the price at first of what they were willing to pay. And like, I was super fine with the original number. And I'm super excited about doing it. I just put it that way. I'm excited about having a budget to put. I get a X amount of dollar budget to put a training system together and a training class to send like 34 techs through. It's not, the details aren't ironed out yet, so it might not happen. But the listeners that actually like, oh yeah, on this podcast, this random, quote unquote automotive podcast I listen to, there's a guy that likes solar and he's a college professor. Maybe I can just get his contact information. And like,
And
that's so cool. Like, there's a lot of people that have reached out to me that I have helped design products. I've helped with unrelated. One guy got a hold of me because he kept blowing a fuse in his car. He's like, hey, I know this isn't power wheel related, but this is the issue I'm having. You think you could help? Yes, I can. I know electronics. This is what you need to do. This is the information you need to send me for me to move forward. Yeah,
the connections that this podcast has is mind blowing at times. Like, it's just the reach that
the outreach is ridiculous.
It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, you've experienced it probably the most out of anybody, where just the sheer number of people that reach out to you is humbling in all reality.
Yeah, it is. Like, when I said, hey, shoot me an email if you're interested in batteries or solar. Like, I can tell you how I built mine. It saves me this much money a year. It's super awesome to have when the power goes out. I was thinking like 1-2 people might email me. Within a week, I had 15 plus emails.
Yep.
Multiple responses to each one of those for the most of them. And it's like, there's more work of designing all of these systems that I can handle as a single person. In fact, I'm hiring an intern for Tech Boss to help
so awesome
turn around some of these items and designs. Yeah, so I'm hiring my first employee.
Wow.
Yeah, that escalated quickly.
All because of the silly podcast.
All because of the silly podcast.
All right, we need to keep moving because this will be the longest show that we've ever had.
Do we even do news, or just call it a day?
Call it, forget it.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that. We can move it to next week.
Yep.
I don't want to hear about the freaking Beetle-looking guy making long shows.
I'm fading fast.
I don't blame you. I do want to talk about ApexPro, Apex Track
Absolutely.
ApexTrackCoach.com. This is I'm holding their first gen of the unit. This is the lights as we know it. It basically, the green means you're doing well. Red means you could improve. If you want to get into data, this is the best budget and best use of best data for the money. So like the unit I'm holding right now is about $450. If you use the code TenTenths, you get a free window mount. We've been telling everybody to go this path for a long time. I also have the OBD2 plug and play module, whatever you want to call it, that also runs with the app and then gives you extra data that like throttle response, or throttle position, as well as all the other OBD2 data that comes from your car that you can overlay into the rest of your data, so you get even more information as to what you are doing on track and ways to improve. And then I'm not going to give away a lot of the details of it, but stick around towards the end of the month. We have pretty exciting news about some new products coming from ApexPro that we will have exclusive access to. I guess everyone will have access to. We'll have exclusive podcast listener stuff to go with it. Really, really exciting stuff. Basically, if you've ever used this and you've had feedback either to publicly on the group or to Andrew himself, all of those gripes or complaints or improvement ideas have been taken into account, and you are going to be very excited about where ApexPro is going and some of the new features and options that will be available starting in about 2 or 3 weeks. So pay attention to the podcast. We'll talk about it more in depth. I'm probably going to have Andrew on the show to talk about it even more, but I'm super excited.
Andrew on the show anyway.
It's been too long, and I'm super excited about it. So
I want to meet him, and I want to find a way to get that on a budget live stream setup.
I guarantee you the ApexPro app would be just as easy as the Harry's based on the way you were describing it.
Yeah, and that would be just an awesome way to tie that stuff together.
Yes. Yep.
We'd be able to have you show your live ApexPro data on your live stream that you built for a budget.
Yeah, that's perfect.
That's in-game right there.
Yep. So that's my spiel for ApexPro. I'm super excited to get to use this on Monday. I get to use my ApexPro unit as well as I get to do the OBD2 stuff because I use the ApexPro as my gauges for everything that's not critical. For the critical stuff, I have mechanical gauges, but yeah, ApexTrackCoach.com. I think that's a show, even without the news. To be fair, I really...
It's too much show.
That's because he got Don on. He can do a whole show by himself.
I know. We got so many things to talk about.
I have so much going on all the time. And it's not even that car related. That's what sucks is I miss being able to oh, hey, this is the update of my car that I have. And I just have so much going on outside of car stuff right now.
Yep. No, mine's just been like a lot of grunt work, nonstop grunt work. But
it's going to pay off here soon, Robbie.
God, I hope so. I'm really excited. I'm just so happy with the way the car's turning out. I think it looks incredible. This needs to perform as good as it looks.
It does look incredible.
I'm
it looks
nervous
super
that
cool.
Tech Boss might become an actual thing.
It's a thing, and it's because of the podcast.
I'm fully prepared to quit my job, Don. Just say the word. I'm down to clown.
All kidding aside, I had to hire a second-year student who's looking for work because he got a job, but it's like he has to wait like 4 months before he can travel there to do it. So he's looking for work. I'm like, I've got these plans drawn on paper, but I need to CAD them and submit them to people that are, because I'm like $20 for a battery backup design. I'm dirt cheap. I don't care. It's about getting my name out there. And I'm like, I need someone to do that. He's like, oh yeah, I'll do that. I'm like, okay, everyone that you get done, here's my paper copy of what that person needs. CAD that. Here's $20.
Nice.
And I go, okay.
So you just knock it out in his free time.
Yeah, exactly. And so yeah, if this is without any scooter sales, if scooter sales do anything close to what we were able to do with that original lot, we're going to be renting a building real quick and needing people to like staff that building other than just off hours and when Josh and I are not working.
Wow.
It's a good problem to have.
I don't know what to say. That's so
it's
good.
a great problem to have.
So
it's just another thing that Don touches and turns to gold.
Somehow.
Don't give me some somehow. That's just Don.
I've had bad luck here and there.
No,
I don't believe that.
No, because it somehow turned into better luck. Like it's one step backwards and 3 steps forwards every time.
You've never once had my Audi TT. It's never been a thing for you.
That's true. That's solid.
So
that same Adam guy
Chabay?
bought that side by side that I had.
Oh yeah, because that's getting delivered to my house.
I was going to put a go-kart motor on, but now I've got so many other projects I don't have time for it. And I was talking to him about scooters. He's like, yeah, did you ever put a go-kart motor on that? No, it's just sitting in my way right now. He's like, let me take it from you? I'm like, yeah. He's like, how much you want for it? I'm like, honestly, what I have into it, it's yours. He's like, okay. And PayPal'd me the money like 3 minutes later.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So that sold.
Awesome.
I'm going to bed, guys.
Yep.
You can keep talking. I'm going to bed.
Nope. Yeah. We'll call it a show. And thanks everyone for listening. Thanks for coming on, Don. And we will catch everybody next week.